Yeah, so I think everybody focuses on the two draft picks that they have, the 2027 first round pick and the 2029 first round pick. This has been said 100 times over by people around the team since the summer. It's my understanding that they don't actually want to go that route. Their preference would be potentially to use the expiring contracts of Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverly in a trade because they want to save those draft picks. Now, if there was a bona fide star player that became available, and those two draft picks were able to bring that player in and add him to LeBron James and add him to Anthony Davis, I don't think that they're off limits. You're only as faithful as your options, right? Mm-hmm. You're only as faithful to keeping those picks as what their options are, what to do with them. Their first preference would be to use, I think, Beverly and Nunn in a trade to bring a player back. There just isn't a lot of teams right now that are looking to make those kind of trades. Part of it is we have parity in both conferences.
Yep.
A lot of teams are bunched together. Part of it is the play-in tournament means that, if you're in 11th or 12th place right now or 9th place, you're not necessarily giving up on the season. All of those things combined. I think we may have a bit more clarity on that as we get towards February 1st and some teams make some decisions. But even if the Lakers were to declare, on national television today that their 2027 and 29 picks were open and at the market ready to trade, there isn't necessarily a move that makes sense. And that's the thing that I think people, maybe don't pay attention to.
Brian Windhorst, our analyst and insider, joining us here at NBA Countdown. Crash and Burns are following the Phoenix Suns these days. They've dropped 16 of their last 23. What the hell has happened in the Valley?
Well, in November, when they were reasonably healthy, they were 15-6 at the beginning of December. They were the number one team in the Western Conference. That team is still there. It's just broken, literally broken. They're missing 4 or 5 of their top 7 players. It's impossible for them to compete. It's actually kind of a miracle that they are where they are. They had a absolutely amazing win earlier this week in San Francisco. Nobody thought they were going to win that game.
Agree.
And right now, Kevin, it's almost like if they get out of games without getting another injury, that they've done well. So they're obviously in a huge setback situation here. They've got the uncertainty of whether or not their new owner, Matt Ishbia, is going to be able to come in and take control of the team before the trade deadline, or if he has to wait. It's a mess right now. But I still tell you, that 15-6 team is still in there, and I do expect them to get a Jay Crowder deal done at some point to help their roster. So get up on the Phoenix Suns if you want, but look at the Western Conference. There's not a lot of teams in front of them that they're going to be afraid of if they're fully healthy.
ESPN NBA analyst and insider Brian Windhorst joining us here on NBA Countdown. Windy, great stuff. Appreciate it again. Don't forget, Windy's got the Hoop Collective podcast wherever you get your podcast. Kevin Winter with you. We count you down to the Bucks and the Heat. Before we go any further, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Kevin Winter with you inside our studios. Coming up next, we head to South Florida. We tip it off between the Bucks and the Heat. Round 2. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim of ID theft, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year at lifelock.com/sports.
The football playoffs are here, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great NFL ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch, and no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, "I bought one pair of loungewear, and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower." Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guaranteed. Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard.
My own little paradise.
Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at Geico.com.
NFL Wildcard Weekend is here. That's right, it has arrived. And the easiest way to get into the playoffs is with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers, join today to get started with $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code PLAY. So don't miss out. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia, and West Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming and Kansas or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee. As part of its goal to make homes and hometowns better for all, Lowe's has committed $100 million to make a positive impact in local communities through its Lowe's Hometowns program. Each year through 2026, people across the country can nominate their hometown projects in need. Lowe's Hometowns will help restore and revitalize community spaces from gardens, parks, and food pantries to neighborhood housing, community centers, and much more. Visit lowes.com/hometowns for details on how you can nominate a project in your community starting January 23rd.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kevin Winter with you inside our studios. Get you ready to send him to go to Miami for coverage of the Heat and the Bucks. It's called NBA Saturday Primetime, but yeah, we're in the middle of the afternoon. You wonder why? Because we're not dumb enough to go head-to-head with the NFL. Don't forget, Monday Night Football, Cowboys and Bucks coverage. It says 8:15 Eastern they kick, but let's be realistic. We're starting our coverage on ESPN television probably about 5 in the afternoon. I think 6 was full with Monday Night Countdown. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max recap it all Monday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio. Time now for our AutoZone poll question. Don't forget to log on to our Twitter account at NBA on ESPN Radio, at ESPN Radio, to vote in the AutoZone in the zone poll question. Who's going to get in the zone for this afternoon's matchup for the Bucks? and the Heat and missing a ton of starters. I was thinking to just go in Milwaukee or Miami, but here are your actual options. Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Bobby Portis, or Drew Holiday in the zone. Brought to you by AutoZone. Time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Career high 28 for Gabe Vincent a couple of nights ago. He helped Miami come from behind with a 108-102 victory. Same two teams just 2 days later. And I think a different arena name change. Miami-Dade Arena is the site. We head there now and join a broadcast crew for the coverage and call on the Bucks in the Heat with Roz Gold and Woody. Here's Mike Cousins.
Yes, we say goodbye to FTX Arena, the bankrupt company. The county owns the building, so it's Miami-Dade Arena for now. The most important thing is that we've got two teams very familiar with going deep into the postseason and who are in the postseason picture right now, with the Bucks at 27-15, third in the East, and the Heat 23-20, sitting at eighth in the Eastern Conference. Roz, let's start with the most important news today. The two-time MVP, third leading scorer in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo, is out today for a second straight game. What's the impact on both sides with him not on the floor?
Well, as a former Defensive Player of the Year, he affects what this team can do and help side defense, rebounding on the ball, on-ball defense. But on the offensive end, he is a player that makes his teammates better. And part of that is the pace he creates, his ability to get out in the fast break and create those opportunities, the pressure he puts on the defense to defend him without fouling as he long steps to the rim, and all that gravitational pull and force that he has. Giannis has become a really great playmaker and sets up a lot of three-point shots and other looks for his teammates. So today, it'll be tougher on them for shot creation, and this is a Bucks offense that's been struggling a little bit on the offensive end, so they've got to figure that out.
They took a ton of threes Thursday against the Heat. They were 22 of 57 in that.
And all that gravitational pull and force that he has, Giannis has become a... And part of that is the pace he creates, his ability to get out in the fast break and create those opportunities, the pressure he puts. Hey, it'll be tougher on them for shot creation, and this is a Bucks offense that's been struggling a little bit on the offensive end, so they've got to figure that out.
They took a ton of threes Thursday against the Heat. They were 22 of 57 in that 6-point loss. Both of these teams are now past the midway point. They're not yet, as we heard from the head coaches, what they want to be. So in these current versions, what are your keys for both the Bucks and the Heat today?
I mean, on a macro level, both of these teams just need to get healthy.
Right.
And that would probably solve a lot of the issues in the second half of the season. But, I mean, for today's game for the Bucks, they've had a lot of mental letdowns and let-ups of leads. And so one of the keys would be to keep them out of losing that lead, taking care of the ball. Spurts of turnovers have given up momentum for them. Also, in the last match, this is a run-it-back game they just played on Thursday. They were thoroughly out-rebounded, and they'll hurt without Giannis with that today, but they got to get on the glass. And then for the Heat, be disruptive. They're at the best version of themselves when they are disruptive defensively. Turn them over. Keep winning that battle on the glass and keep boxing out. Keep them off the offensive glass. One of the things that the Bucks have been focusing on this season and been able to generate offense with is offensive second chance points. And then finally, defend the three-point line. When they played on Thursday, that second unit lit it up from three from the Bucks. So just be aware of the three-point line.
Like you said with Milwaukee, whether it's giving up a lead or getting into a big hole. Monday, the start of this road trip against the Knicks, they trailed by as many as 17. They had their largest comeback win of the season, and Wednesday night blew a 24-point lead in Atlanta, ultimately won that game as well. Let's get set with the starting lineups. For the Heat, in the backcourt, Max Strus, a three-point threat, along with Gabe Vincent, coming off a career-high 28. In the front court, Haywood Highsmith makes this his 9th start of the year, along with Jimmy Butler, the 12-year NBA vet, and Bam Adebayo at center, 4th in the league in rebounding. For the Bucks, in their backcourt, Grayson Allen, who returns after not playing on Thursday, as Allen was out with a right ankle sprain. Pat Connaughton, the 8th-year guard out of Notre Dame, along with Drew Holiday, who's having his best offensive season in his 3 years with Milwaukee. In the front court, rebounding important for the Bucks without Giannis. Bobby Portis, 25 double-doubles for him this year. That's 3rd most in the league. And Brook Lopez, who's averaging almost 3 blocks a game, which is 2nd in the league. Those are your starting lineups. The players out today, as we mentioned, Giannis Antetokounmpo is out at 31 points a game, 12 rebounds, a big blow for the Bucks. And for Brook Lopez, of Notre Dame, along with Drew Holiday, who's having his best offensive season in his 3 years with Milwaukee. In the front court, rebounding important for the Bucks without Giannis. Bobby Portis, 25 double-doubles for him this year. That's third most in the league. And Brook Lopez, who's averaging almost 3 blocks a game, which is second in the league. Those are your starting lineups. The players out today, as we mentioned, Giannis Antetokounmpo is out at 31 points a game, 12 rebounds, a big blow for the Bucks. And for Miami, they're without 3 regulars. Tyler Hero, who's missing his second straight game, didn't play Thursday with an Achilles sprain. Although, congratulations to Tyler and his girlfriend, Katia Henry, just had their second child, so he wouldn't have played Thursday anyway. Kyle Lowry is also out for a second straight game with knee discomfort. And Caleb Martin is an active scratch for the Heat, who without those 3 in their lineup, missing 42 points a game between those 3 players. Miami is in the home whites today, numbers in red on the back, red piping around the waistline of their shorts, and the Bucks in road purple jerseys that read Bucks in white across the front with small white numbers on the front, big white numbers on the back with their names arching over the top of those, and green piping down the sides for Milwaukee. We're ready to go. The officials today, James Capers is the crew chief, the referee is Curtis Blair, and the umpire is Scott Wall. Nice sized crowd has filled in here when they introduced the starting lineups. They had those flame towers. We're at the top of the lower bowl. You could feel that heat all the way up there. Up here, where the air conditioning is hard not to feel. It's a little chilly today.
It's cold. I'm literally wearing a blanket.
It's Adebayo for the Heat, Lopez for the Bucks as the tip goes up, and it belongs to Miami as they attack the basket at the right end, and Gabe Vincent brings it into the front court right with a dribble between the legs, guarded by Grayson Allen. He takes a screen right, now comes to the lane at the block, dribbles under the basket, bounces in for Adebayo, who shoots over Lopez and back rims it no good.
And Brook Lopez changes and challenges that shot. He leads the league in blocks, and that's something he's worked on, his mobility and speed to be able to contest shots faster this season.
Bucks working at the basket left end, 30 seconds in, no score. Holiday straight away, passes for Connaughton off to his right, dribble handoff right for Allen. Top of the key, the mismatch, drives on Adebayo, lays it up with the left, no good. But a foul on the drive to the basket, and Grayson Allen will go to the free throw line.
And Grayson Allen's one of the beneficiaries of Chris Middleton being out more than expected this season, as he's still, dealing with some knee soreness and getting back into the rhythm. Grayson, was known as a nice shooter, but this season I really like the way that he attacks the basket too, understanding that the defense is coming out hard on him. He has a nice attack mindset.
A surprising miss there from Grayson Allen on the first free throw as he shoots 91% at the line. 0-0 the score, just underway. 11:21 first quarter between the Bucks and the Heat, playing for the second time in 3 days. Allen takes 4 dribbles, bends the knees, and flicks the ball to the basket with his right hand, rattles it through, and it's 1-0 Milwaukee. Vincent with a right-handed dribble, up the near sideline, over midcourt. Into the three-point line, now across the lane as he did on the first possession. Sends it back up top for Strus, who passes right for Adebayo. Comes to get it. Strus, floater right side of the lane, and it's good. 2-1 Miami.
We had the chance to speak with Coach Spoelstra before the game, and he talked about how Strus has been a little bit out of position in different rotations with all the injuries. So still trying to find that comfort and rhythm.
Holiday from the right angle, dribbles, passes Portis left side of the lane, who bounces up from the block and scores off glass. 3-2 Bucks. 10:45 to go first quarter. Vincent had picked up his dribble at the right angle, swings it left for Butler, and now Strus comes to get it and initiate the offense with 10 on the shot clock. He drives free throw line, second marker right side, passes left corner Butler, a shot fake, and as he puts it on the floor, a whistle stops play and a foul called against Drew Holiday of Milwaukee, his first. 10:34 to play in the first.
I like the way Strus set that play up by getting feet into the middle, attacking the paint. The defense had to converge, and then he kicked it out. Now you've got a scrambling defense and Jimmy Butler able to attack and draw the foul. But first, you've got to make the defense commit.
And if you can pull Lopez or Portis out of the lane, it's advantage Miami. Off the inbound, it's Strus left angle, puts up a 3, and it's good. It was Connaughton trailing. He was late. 5-3 Miami.
Early in the game, but Strus is making great decisions and being aggressive with the ball.
Right side, free throw line extended. 3 off the mark for Connaughton. Miami had the rebound. Portis steals it away. Right side of the lane. Kick out right corner. Connaughton 3 again. Front rim, no good. 0 for 2 on the possession for Connaughton. Vincent into the front court right for Miami. Off an Adebayo screen left. Lost the ball. Now picks it up left side of the lane. Keeps his dribble. Shares outside for Strus. High right wing. Guarded by Connaughton. Rip through. 2 dribbles to the basket. Strus puts it up. And he's turned away by Lopez. Rebound Butler. It's out to Vincent. Left wing 3. Got it. The Heat are up 8-3. 9:44 first quarter. Holiday initiates the offense for Milwaukee. Top of the key. He passes left short corner. Lopez takes a jumper, although I should say a stander. He didn't jump, and his shot goes in. It's 8-5.
Brooke Lopez told me he wants to, he could be considered a 3-and-D center. You know, he's a two-way player, and he wants to make impact on both ends.
Vincent with a 3 off the screen. Miami's lead is 6, 11-5. What an impact for Vincent. Coming off a career-high 28 on Thursday, averaging 9 points and 3 assists in 25 minutes. Holiday had it high right wing, zipped it left for Connaughton, who takes a couple dribbles over to the corner, looking to get it to Portis. Bad spacing. Lopez top of the key, shuffles back for Connaughton, launches deep. He's 0 for 3 from deep, and it's Adebayo with the rebound for the Heat. Here they come with Butler. The right-handed dribble off to the high left wing. Guarded by Allen. Takes an Adebayo screen to the free throw line. Shot fake with contact. Goes up and scores with the foul. Great start for the Heat. And a chance for 3 here for Jimmy Butler.
What I'm seeing from the Heat right now is decisive, intentional play. There's no indecision. And either they're attacking their defender and in doing so causing the defense to shift and finding one another, or creating foul opportunities. But they're putting pressure on the defense to be able to keep them in front without fouling.
Butler on the free throw and floats it through the cylinder to make it 14-5. Miami over Milwaukee at the 8:35 mark of the first quarter. A 12-2 Heat run. Who can stop that here for the Bucks as they play 4 outside with Connaughton inside. Allen dribbling into the lane, had it poked away. Connaughton corrals left side, and then the ball is tipped away from him by Gabe Vincent. Active hands with Connaughton looking for Portis.
When the Heat are the best versions of themselves, coach wants to see them being defensively disruptive. Gabe Vincent is a player that can absolutely help set the tone on that end.
Holiday triggering from the near corner, finds Lopez at the right elbow. 7 to shoot, fade away, second marker, off the back rim, no good. Milwaukee ice cold to start as they're just 33% from the floor. 14-5, Heat over the Bucks. 3 in the air, Strus, no. And Portis tips the rebound to the far sideline, shovels it back to nobody. Vincent picks it up, top of the key, pulls up, and is blocked by Lopez from behind. Here comes Holiday for Milwaukee, down 9 at the left end. Pull up, long 3, or look like a long 2. They call it a 3, and it goes down for Holiday to make it 14-8, Heat over the Bucks.
Drew Holiday can always be counted on for a settling down type of play or a big shot to help his team find momentum.
Far corner. It's Vincent off the pass from Strus and a wide open 3. Nobody even attempted to defend him. Timeout Milwaukee as the Heat open up a 17-8 lead with 7:39 to go in the first quarter here in Miami. Great start for the Heat, trying to take 2 in 3 days from Milwaukee. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Shopify presents cool sheets from AHA to
lying awake while you bake isn't cool. I suffered from the wrong kind of hot in bed, heat-induced insomnia. That was my aha moment. Bed sheets that keep you cool. Then I thought, how do I even sell bed sheets? That's when I had the idea that made it all possible, signing up on Shopify. With the help of Shopify's intuitive online store creator, I started selling sustainable bamboo sheets that keep cool year-round. And my cool idea became a reality. Hot sleepers around the world rejoice. Shopify makes it simple to keep your cool while starting and growing your business. Start selling with Shopify today and join the commerce platform powering millions of businesses worldwide. From AHA to anything is possible.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. Shopify.com/play.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Kevin Richard with you in our studio. Eric Spoelstra's Miami Heat enter this game having won 5-7 despite a roster being in flux for most of the year.
Yeah, we're starting to develop a little bit more grit, some resilience that every team, every good team, needs. And we've had our share of adversity, but I really admire that our group has not made excuses for it. We've not felt sorry for ourselves. It's more about just trying to focus on what we can control, what we can improve. And that's our identity, how we want to play.
And speaking of good starts, they didn't have one the other night, and yet they rallied to win. Mike Cousins, Rouse go to win it. You couldn't ask for a better start today. 17-8, 7:39 to go, opening quarter.
They have been phenomenal, and leading the way has been Gabe Vincent.
Absolutely. And when you're out Kyle Lowry with injuries or Tyler Hero, you need somebody to step up, and Gabe Vincent is somebody that Coach Spoelstra is very high on and said he's been a part of the program for a while now. He understands what we're trying to do, what we're about culturally, and that's part of the developmental success of this Heat organization, that there are players that have been working through it for the past few years and are ready to step up in any lineup, starter, off the bench, ready to go.
Back underway, 7:30 to go in the first quarter. The Heat 17 and the Bucks 8 as Milwaukee works at the left end. Step back three in the far corner for Holiday, hits back rim, and it's Adebayo leading the break. 1-on-5 to the left side of the basket. He goes up and he's fouled as he misses the lay-in attempt. Bam Adebayo, the sixth-year big man out of Kentucky, will go to the line to shoot two, where he shoots 81%. Foul is on Pat Connaughton, his first.
It's always impressive to see Bam and how he impacts the game defensively and with the rebounding, with the energy. But over the course of his career, being much more than that, being a skilled player, an improving player. And a lot of that stems from his motor and willingness to work hard. Anytime I speak with anyone within the Heat organization, they talk about work ethic and motor. Bam's one of those guys. And also, again, that's culturally for them.
To help set the tone, even with a guy like Udonis Haslem on the bench, who sparingly plays, but 2 decades into an NBA career, helps set the tone as well. 0 for 2 on the free throws, but the rebound and a stick back on the right side for Haywood Highsmith. And it's 19-8 Miami over Milwaukee. Holiday with a dribble at the high right wing, trying to blow by Strus. He feeds into the lane. Portis bobbled it, picks it up, sends it out. Allen left wing three, and Grayson Allen hits from deep. 19-11 the lead, under 7 minutes to go first quarter.
And that shot is created because they're able to go inside and out. And that's something that usually happens when Giannis is in the game, but here's the Bucks creating that without him.
31 points a game on the bench for a second straight day for Milwaukee. Vincent inside the left elbow, shot fakes, tries to go across the lane with a pass to Adebayo, and Bobby Portis at 6'10" intercepts it.
Bobby's been phenomenal this season.
Portis from the top of the key, 2 dribbles to the right side of the lane, fouled as the ball goes out of bounds under the basket. Strus came across and initiated the contact, putting Portis at the line, a 79% free throw shooter.
He's the fire and the energy for this Bucks team. He's very lovable. He's been described as someone the players love, the fans love. Coach Bud told me I love him. This is a player who gets on the glass, does the nitty-gritty work, brings some toughness, and it's going to be especially important in a game like today when you don't have Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Foul there was on Bam Adebayo of Miami, his second, and the team's second as well. 19-12 with Portis at the line. Miami with a lead over Milwaukee. Portis eyes the rim, takes a deep breath, 3 dribbles, bends and extends the right arm, and the free throw is good. 19-13. So Adebayo goes to the bench, and Orlando Robinson, the rookie out of Fresno State, undrafted, one of many undrafted players they've had this year on the floor, is into the game. Pick and roll with him. Pass to the right wing, and the 3 in the air is good. Haywood Highsmith again with the triple. 22-13, the Heat in the lead at 6:08 first quarter. Holiday attacking, drives into the lane, kick out right wing. 3 in the air, off back rim, no good. And an offensive rebound for Milwaukee. That was Marjon Beauchamp off the bench Holiday working from the top of the key, spins into the lane. It's taken away. Robinson had the loose ball. Oladipo off the bench for the Heat to the left for the right side lay-in, no good. It's picked up underneath the basket and sent back out for Butler, high left wing, with 13 on the shot clock for the Heat at the right end. Robinson comes up to set the screen. Butler takes it down the left side of the lane, under the basket. Passes near corner. Oladipo's three off the front rim, and the rebound taken by Portis for the Bucks. He's quickly into the front court and sends it to Holiday straight away. Portis looking to post up. He's immediately double-teamed outside the lane right. They work it outside the three-point arc. Allen from the left angle, drives to the left block, fadeaway, off back rim, no, and the rebound to the Heat.
And the Heat are forcing tough shots, contested jumpers, or straight up turning over the Bucks. They are playing that disruptive style of defense. They want to be their identity.
Butler backing down Beauchamp, right side of the lane, picks up his dribble. One bounce, top of the key, Oladipo, guarded by Holiday, and Holiday pokes it away from Oladipo as he tried to put it on the floor.
Yeah, but Drew Holiday got that defense too.
He does. An excellent defender, one of the best, and a four-time all-defensive team member. Left to the top of the key, three is good. Brook Lopez, who's shooting 39% from deep as he has really reinvented his game in Milwaukee.
I told you, 3-and-D center. And actually, it's the defensive part that's part of the reinvention. He didn't come into the league as a defensive-minded guy, but he got more serious about it over his career.
Oladipo at the arc inside the lane of the dotted line, floats it for two. It's the Heat by 8, 24-16 with 4:15 to play first quarter.
And now Brook Lopez is a defensive player of the year candidate.
Grayson Allen with an easy drive to the basket, lays it in with the right, and a timeout taken by Miami.
And what sets up that drive for Grayson Allen? It's an excellent screen from Brook Lopez. It's all the blue collar, maybe you don't see it in the stat sheet, type of plays that are sacrificial and thoughtful by Brook Lopez, helping to get some momentum for the Bucks.
With 4:11 to go in the first quarter, it's Miami 24, Milwaukee 18. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You can't ask for more of a football weekend than we have on the way. A wild, wild, wild card affair, which will conclude Monday night with a classic, the Cowboys against Tampa Tom. This will be the place to talk about it at screening, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Brock Purdy, whenever he throws in the ball, that's to me when it really jumps out the difference between him and Jimmy G. Just how natural he looks flipping his hips and how accurate he is.
Listen and subscribe to The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Did you miss Canty and Carlin?
Brandon Marshall, the former All-Pro wide receiver. You got to be careful on the language. We're live on the air, P. Marsh.
We can't curse on ESPN?
No.
Nah. Oh, man.
Mickey Mouse, B. Marsh, Mickey Mouse on the
radio,
text, bro.
What is it on radio? Like if you say a curse word, y'all get fined?
Yeah, well, yeah, but we'll dial you up when we do.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Which teams are making moves and which teams need to just flat out move? Your Saturday means I'm locked in and ready for First Take right here, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Let's go, baby. We are ready for NFL playoffs this weekend.
The Super Wild Card Weekend.
The story is irresistible of Tom Brady beating the Cowboys.
Who will be one and done and who will begin a magical run.
This is not a team in Minnesota that you would sit back and go, oh my God, their record indicates what type of team they are.
We're the winner, we go home. What do you want to do?
Coverage begins every morning at 6 Eastern with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. And it continues all day right here on ESPN Radio.
Kevin Winter with you inside our studios. If you missed it last night, new NBA attendance record at the Alamo Dome, 68,323. Eric Spoelstra thinks they can do better in Miami.
One of these days, we got to do something outside and pack 100,000 down here in South Florida. We might be able to do that and put a court in the Marlins stadium, and you put the roof, and open it up. Let's do it. 100,000. That's my call.
I guess you can open the roof in Miami. Although, Mike, as Roz said, it's kind of cold even in January. Back to you guys.
Oh, no, it's still lovely out in Miami. What? We're in January? I was at the beach yesterday. It's lovely here. But, I absolutely think it'd be exciting to have a cool 100,000 fan open air game for the Heat. Although Your fans arrive so late. 50,000 will come in like for the second half.
They need to build a new building. Lone Depot Park for the Marlins only seats 37,000. So if you move the big house to Miami, yeah, you're in good shape. Back underway inside 4 minutes to go first quarter. The Heat 24 and the Bucks 18. Jimmy Butler right side of the lane looking to back down Drew Holiday. Spins, goes off glass, and scores 2. The Heat back up by 8. A great start shooting for Miami, now over 60%. Lineup change for the Bucks as Joe Ingles comes in off the bench. The veteran, the high right wing, picks up his dribble, bounces inside top of the key for Holiday, gets it back, and now it's Lopez in the corner, pestered there by Strus. Size mismatch, a dribble across the lane, and the pass is intercepted and stolen by Miami. Oladipo, top of the key, bounce left angle, Strus. Far side short corner, it's Butler looking for the screen. He gets it, 2 dribbles into the lane, across the paint, leaves his feet, sends it for Oladipo outside the arc. Oladipo whips it to the far corner, couple dribbles into the paint, off back iron, no good for Jamal Cain, just off the bench, and the possession ends without any points for the Heat. 26-18, just under 3 minutes first quarter, as these two teams play for the second time in 3 days, with the Heat victorious on Thursday. Ingles from the far corner dribbles to the lane, shovels off for Lopez, who floats over the top of everybody. The 7-footer scores, and it's 26-20 Miami.
I tell you, though, the Bucks are having to work for these shots. The Heat are making them work. A number of times I'm finding them getting stuck in the air or into too much traffic or taking a contested shot.
There really has not been yet a wide open look on the Milwaukee offense. Strus, right angle. He's got 4 on the shot clock. Dribbles into the lane, bounce pass right. Robinson rejected by Lopez, who holds his hands triumphantly on defense, also to show he didn't foul. The Bucks push right to left. Beauchamp from the left wing dribbles into the lane. Corner pass out to the top of the key. It's Lopez. The 3 gets just the front of the iron, no good. They reset to 14. Connaughton near corner launches a 3. That's off the mark, no. And the Bucks having a hard time getting the 3-pointers to fall. Front court right, the Heat up 26-20, a minute 53 first quarter. Butler straight away. Dribble handoff Oladipo. Goes inside the arc, now backs it out. He can't quite shake his defender, Marjon Beauchamp, on the baseline. He gets rid of it for Butler, who puts it up with the left, no good. And here come the Bucks on a break. It's a 3-on-3 led by Holiday. He stops left to the top of the key, puts up the 3, and clangs it off the front rim, no good. One shot and done for Milwaukee.
The Bucks are not shooting it well, but one thing keeping them in this game is Brook Lopez's defense. He has changed so many shots or blocked them, and that's keeping the Bucks close.
Under the basket, right hand for Miami. Robinson, the 7-footer, pestered by Lopez. They send it to Strus straight away, guarded by Ingles. Sweep back. Strus tried to shoot. Ingles tapped it. Strus's pass intercepted by Connaughton. 3-on-2 Bucks. Holiday passes off to his right at the angle. Beauchamp had a 3 go halfway down. They are 3 of 12 from 3. Less than a minute to go in the first quarter. The Heat lead the Bucks by 6, 26-20. Butler at the top of the key, guarded by Ingles. Backs out the dribble with the right. Crossover to the left, off a screen, into the lane. Pull up second marker on the right side is good. 28-20 Miami.
Jimmy Butler just picking apart the defense, finding the right gap, attacking it, and not getting in too deep.
Butler, 7 points now. Game's high is 9 for Gabe Vincent. Robinson, a rejection of Beauchamp under the left side basket. Quick pass down the floor for Cain, who catches at the right block, dribbles out, gives it up for Oladipo, who takes a slow dribble at the top of the key. Screen left from Robinson. Pass right angle. Cain launches and misses the 3. 15 seconds left in the first quarter, so a chance for one shot here for the Bucks. Down by 8. Holiday comes slowly across the timeline right to left, gets a screen from Ingles left into the lane, whips it far corner. Beauchamp with a 3 in the air, off the rim, backboard, no good, and time expires on the first quarter. The Heat 28 and the Bucks 20.
You know, I thought right there, Drew Holiday did a nice job of being aggressive and attacking the rim. I actually thought he could have went all the way for his own layup there. A little too unselfish, kicks it out for a 3, but this is a game, especially with Giannis out, that Drew could be even more assertive.
And he may need to be with his team shooting under 40% in the opening quarter, and the Heat with a 28-20 lead over the Bucks at the end of 1. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim of ID theft, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year at lifelock.com/sports.
Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch. And no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, "I bought one pair of loungewear and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower. Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or it's free guarantee." Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
The football playoffs are here, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great NFL ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats Rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
Kevin Witcher with you in our studio. 12 minutes complete in Miami.
Butler at the top of the key, guarded by Ingles. Backs out the dribble with the right. Crossover to the left, off a screen, into the lane. Pull up second marker on the right side is good. 28-20 Miami.
Butler just picking apart the defense, finding the right gap, attacking it, and not getting in too deep.
Yeah, no, he loves that mid-range game, Raj. 3 of 4 shooting. He's got 7. Gabe Vincent coming off for career-high 28. He's got 9, and the Heat's lead is 8. Back to Raj and Mike Cousins in South Florida for the second.
Kevin, thank you. Back inside Miami-Dade Arena, and probably the bright point right now for the Bucks has been on the inside with Brook Lopez, who really has worked to become a better defender.
Absolutely. This offseason, he worked on drills that helped his shot blocking ability and speed coming from the help side. He actually told me he worked on footwork, balance, speed, doing drills wearing a harnessed resistance vest while doing lateral slides and balance exercises. And he said that gives him better balance, control, and makes him quicker in reacting and changing direction. So you're seeing that pay off. Plus, he's healthy.
The Bucks begin the second quarter at the left end with a different lineup. New subs in: Javon Carter at the guard spot, A.J. Green, the rookie out of Northern Iowa, along with the forward Sandro Mamukelashvili out of Seton Hall. He holds it at the right angle, hands it off for Ingles, just 3 to shoot. Ingles passes it off. Green launches the 3, front rim no, and the rebound to Miami.
Dang, the Bucks just stayed right around the three-point line. They didn't get inside the paint. There was barely any movement. The Heat have really put the pressure on them defensively.
Feeling the impact with Giannis Antetokounmpo out for the second straight game. Oladipo fouled as he drove the left side of the lane, got hit by either Ingles or Mamukelashvili, and the foul is on the big man. Mamukelashvili is first.
And also for the Bucks, we're looking at their second unit right now, and everybody's out of rotation. I mean, Bobby Portis usually is in the second unit, and that stabilizes them. He's in the starting unit. Now he's playing some minutes with them. You're working Joe Ingles back into a rotation. That takes time. So people are still figuring out what does this look like as they handle all the injuries from this season.
And the weird part is what it looks like now is what they hope it doesn't look like later when they get healthy. Vincent off the bench with the pull-up. He's off to a great start, a game-high 11 as the Heat lead by 10 a minute into the second. Javon Carter with a dribble off the screen from Portis, just above the right elbow. Ingles comes over to get it. Last Bucks field goal came at 2:45 to play in the first quarter. Almost 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Portis to Carter on the right side short corner, and he swishes it through. First wide open bucket of the day for Milwaukee, down by 8 once again, 30-22.
And it started by getting to the heart of the paint with that pass to Bobby Portis, who then kicked it out. you've got to make the defense decide to converge. Otherwise, they've been east and west.
Oladipo draws two defenders as he dribbles left. His cross-court pass intercepted by Ingles. They go to the basket together, and Ingles misses the layup. He corrals his own rebound, spins, and misses a second time. Disappointed as he comes the other way. Oladipo with a 3-on-2 into the lane. Dribbled it is off his shin. Bobby Portis picks it up. He goes right to left. Bucks trying to get a little bit closer, down 30-22 with 10:05 to go in the second quarter. Green at the right angle with Oladipo playing off of him. Gives it up for Portis, top of the key. A between the legs dribble, 16-foot jumper, pull up, in and out. Oladipo grabs it for the Miami Heat.
I want to come back to the Oladipo play. The defensive end is where he's making huge impact and feeling the natural speed and feel of the game the most.
Pull up left side of three. No good as Vincent stepped out of bounds. A turnover gives it back to the Bucks.
So when Vic creates that steal and creates that opportunity with his defense, he comes down the other way and turns it over. There's also a level of comfort that needs to come with game reps that he's starting to get on the offensive end. But you can clearly see his effort, potential, and impact he makes on the game when he gets in.
Working his way back to full health after only playing 41 games over the last 4 years. The right quadriceps injured twice. At the right elbow, Javon Carter misses the fadeaway jumper. And the Miami Heat clear it. They've done a nice job limiting Milwaukee to just one shot per possession for the most part. 30-22. Strus straight away. Off to the right on the three. Offensive rebound. Robinson trapped under the basket. Shares it out. Kane with a drive. And the right side layup is good. He had Portis trapped into the basket. No chance to contest. 32-22. Miami leading Milwaukee. Carter at the high left wing as the Heat go into what looks like a 2-3 zone defense rise.
And that's what the Heat do. You know, they bring that zone on you and they're active in it, especially at the top. Look at the activity of hands.
Green with a shot fake got Vincent to blow by and sent a three off the front rim.
So that zone is active. They're causing deflections and fumbles and bumbles of the ball, which is what they made the Bucks do.
Strus crosses over Allen, gets into the lane as the ball is stripped away. Green up with it as the Bucks work right to left in their purple and green jerseys. It's Allen, high left wing, with the ball over his head. Sends it to Carter, near corner. One bounce off for Portis. The left short corner. He gets by Oladipo and scores with ease. 32-24.
Oladipo overplayed the top of Bobby Portis, and there was no help side defense anywhere near. That was an easy lob to him and finish.
And it's clear that Eric Spoelstra didn't like that possession defensively. He calls timeout with 8:18 to go in the second quarter. It's the Miami Heat 32 and the Milwaukee Bucks 24. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
NFL Wildcard Weekend is here. That's right. It has arrived. And the easiest way to get into the playoffs is with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers, join today to get started with $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code PLAY. So don't miss out. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia, and West Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming and Kansas, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee. As part of its goal to make homes and hometowns better for all, Lowe's has committed $100 million to make a positive impact in local communities through its Lowe's Hometowns program. Each year through 2026, people across the country can nominate their hometown projects in need. Lowe's Hometowns will help restore and revitalize community spaces from gardens, parks, and food pantries to neighborhood housing, community centers, and much more. Visit Lowe's.com/hometowns for details on how you can nominate a project in your community starting January 23rd.
Kevin Winter with you inside our studios. Time now for Did You Know? Brought to you by Geico. Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Go to geico.com today. We already told you, in case you missed it last night, NBA record attendance figures, 68,323 at the Alamo Dome. Well, did you know, since the Spurs last played a game at the Alamo Dome, which was back in 2002, there have been 209 coaching changes in the league. Mike Cousins, Roscoe Dunweddie, the Spurs didn't make a darn one of them. Back to you.
And clearly the smart choice. We got some veteran coaches here today. Mike Budenholzer in Milwaukee in his 5th season with the Bucks. They've had the best winning percentage in the NBA in his 5 years at the helm after being the coach for the Hawks for 5 years. And Eric Spoelstra in his 15th season as the head coach with the Heat, his 28th with the organization overall. 8:18 to go, second quarter. It's been the Heat in the lead all throughout, 32-24. Heat in the white and Milwaukee in the purple as Miami goes to work at the right side basket. Adebayo looking to pass under for Kane, tipped out of bounds by Mamu Kelishvili with 6 on the shot clock. And a great start offensively for Miami, shooting 50% from 3. Milwaukee 32% overall and just 20% from deep, 3 of 15.
And that has a lot to do with the Heat's defense and disruptiveness and how tough they've made it to get any shot off for the Bucks.
The inbounds to Adebayo. He hands off for Strus. A fadeaway 3 is no good. Snared by Grayson Allen.
And that's a tough shot by Strus. I think there's an opportunity to attack the rim right now. You've got minutes where there's no Brook Lopez or Giannis on the court.
Portis with a right wing 3. And that rattles in and out. Rebound is down to Gabe Vincent, a point guard for Miami, who's got a game-high 11, shooting 4 of 5. 17-footer straight away is good.
I like that shot. And Gabe Vincent brings a level of toughness by example. That's leadership, picking the right spots and consistently being decisive on the court.
The Heat lead by 10 once again, 34-24. Quick answer, Javon Carter with a Milwaukee left wing 3.
And this is a really critical moment right now. These minutes on the court defensively without now Brook Lopez and, of course, Giannis, who's not playing for the Bucks.
Can they get inside, especially see if they get the ball to Adebayo, who sets 2 screens for Vincent. He floats it left side of the lane. He can't be stopped right now. Another shot that's good. He's got 15.
And that's 2 floaters in a row in the heart of the paint from Gabe Vincent. Those shots would have been contested by Brook Lopez, was he in?
High left wing, Grayson Allen working on Kane. Allen, cross-court pass for Carter. He picks up his dribble, top of the key, flips it right for Allen. It's into the paint. Mamu Kelishvili, stolen away by Vincent, who comes across the timeline with a left-hand dribble. Pulls up, 3 left wing. Got it again. Gabe Vincent, unconscious for Miami. 18 points, and the Heat lead 39-27 with 6.5 to go before halftime.
And I think that starts with the floaters he got in the paint. There's no Brook Lopez, and it's floater season. That got him rhythm. Now he's pulling up anywhere.
Grayson Allen striding into the lane, putting it off glass and missing on the try.
And, of course, who's coming in right now? Brook Lopez.
Lopez ready to check in along with Haywood Highsmith on the other side.
It's floater season right now. Vic Oladipo goes to the heart of the paint, tries to get one off. Gabe Vincent went 2 times in a row and got just inside of the free throw line area in the paint. That just opened up without the outstretched arms of Brook Lopez, who was changing or discouraging even taking that shot.
Out of bounds off of Miami, so it's Milwaukee ball down by 12. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. You're at Miami-Dade Arena. 4 outside the paint right now with Portis taking the catch at the top of the key. 1 dribble, pull up, and he hits off back rim. Rebound belongs to Adebayo in Miami. Just 31% from the floor for Milwaukee, which without Giannis, they're struggling offensively. It's Adebayo against Lopez, the second marker left side of the lane. He puts it under the basket, near side corner. Vincent feeling it. Oh, a fadeaway triple. 21 for Vincent and 42-27, 15 points, their largest lead. Grayson Allen with a crowd quieting 3 from the left wing makes it 42-30 Heat. Oladipo at the top of the key. Allen sags off as he guards him at the three-point line. Chest pass right for Adebayo, who stands inside the arc. Dribble handoff Oladipo. Right free throw line extended with a left-hand dribble into the lane. Push off against Allen. He fades away and hits. 44-30, the Heat with the lead. Oladipo has 4, and Milwaukee takes another timeout with 5:03 to go before the half. It's the Heat in control, 44-30 over Milwaukee from Miami. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
When Shopify says you can sell anywhere, oh, they mean it. Woo, hold up. Just got a new sale. Order fulfilled and shipped. Inventory level's good. Whoa, Shopify doesn't mind if you're at sea level or on top of the world. You can run and grow your business anywhere. Climbing mountains is never easy, but at least Shopify gives me all the tools I need for my business to hit new peaks.
Whether you're selling carabiners or crop tops, start selling with Shopify today and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. We've built the platform so you can keep climbing and grow your business to new heights.
With Shopify, you really can sell to anyone from anywhere.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. 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 Internet connection required. Not available on mountaintops or seafloors.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis or candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Kevin Winter with you inside our studios. Time now for today's trivia question brought to you by Dr. Pepper. I touched on this with Jalen Rose on NBA Countdown. Take a look at the top teams in the Western Conference. Top 4. Denver, Memphis, New Orleans, Sacramento. What? But of those 4, your trivia question, which of the 4 is the only that has an NBA Finals appearance in their team's history? Give the answer coming up in the 4th quarter. My cousin, Roscoe Nawone, back to you in South Florida.
Well, I'm glad I'm not spoiling anything, but the crazy stat about the Kings you can see today is that they're 5 games above 500 for the first time, I believe, since 2006. So a great start for them. And here in Miami, 5:03 to go in the second. The Heat 44, the Bucks 30. Roz, what do the Bucks need to do defensively to get themselves back in this thing?
Well, you know how coaches will say, I need to see more force from my team. I'm not seeing enough intensity on the defensive end. Well, that's what's going on with the Bucks. And Gabe Vincent is just eating them up and alive. The defense is there, but they're on his hip, or they're a second slow, or giving up too much space, or rotating slow. They've been reacting and not anticipating or dictating on defense.
Pat Connaughton with a short jumper from the right side of the lane gets the bucket for Milwaukee and makes it 44-32 as the Bucks trail. And Jimmy Butler initiates the offense into the front court right. The Heat in their home whites and the Bucks in their road purple jerseys. Butler takes an Adebayo screen down to the baseline as he falls out of bounds, zings it to the far corner for Vincent, who launches a contested 3 and gets it off the front rim. Rebound for Connaughton. 4:23 before the half. Holiday off a screen from Lopez. Gets to the second marker, left side. Up top for Lopez. Right wing, Carter launches a 3 It's off the rim, the glass, and down to Oladipo. Across the Heat logo, he underhand passes to his right, Adebayo, left elbow jumper, and it's good. First field goal for Bam as Lopez was playing back. The Heat once again lead by 14. Miami sitting back in the zone defense. They play the most zone in the NBA. Lopez sees a seam, launches a three right wing, and rattles it through. 46-35 Miami. Oladipo playing point here, blows by Ingles, behind the back dribble, a cross-court pass left for Adebayo, whose back-to-back buckets give the Heat a 48-35 lead.
And that's an open shot for Bam Adebayo. Brook Lopez is sunk in the paint. You know, again, the Bucks aren't making them feel them with their defense.
Carter with a right short corner J, that was no good. And a foul on the rebound goes against Brook Lopez. His first. Stops the clock at 3:26 to go in the second. The Heat 48 and the Bucks 35.
If you watch the Heat, they aren't being forced to change direction or to turn. They're the one dictating when they're going. They're shooting uncontested jumpers at times.
You talked about force. It might take force majeure for the Bucks to stop them right now. An act of interference from a higher power to slow them down. Right side of the lane, Butler leaves a floater short. Holiday with the push. The numerical disadvantage as Holiday goes into the lane, bullies his way to the right side. Pass out Connaughton, shares right Lopez. His three is long, and it belongs to Butler again. They come left to right. Highsmith, left wing, Strus, three in the air, off the front iron, and Lopez tips it down to Connaughton. It ends up with Holiday from right to left. With the free throw line extended right side, guarded by Strus. Gets by him into the lane, double team comes, and he scores anyway from close range. 48-37, Heat lead the Bucks. Oladipo across the timeline, he's got four. Gives it up for Adebayo from the top of the key with a dribble handoff to Haywood Highsmith. Now it's Strus straight away. Passes right. Adebayo gets it back. Strus pestered by Connaughton, who stays with him through the screens. Three on the shot clock, puts it up, and he's fouled with 3.4 to shoot.
And we'll take a moment to call out the screening from Bam Adebayo there, who creates an opportunity for chaos from the defenders and having to try to get back in front of Strus as he's on the attack. It didn't happen for the first screen, but there was patience. And then a dribble out and another screen from Bam Adebayo. Those were multiple efforts to work to create a lane for Strus to attack.
First free throw from Strus is good. He's got 6 points. Game high is Gabe Vincent of Miami with 21. Vincent returns to the floor now after a brief hiatus on the bench to our left as he replaces Victor Oladipo. Heat 49 and the Bucks 37 with 2:20 left in the first half.
You need a teammate who's willing to work that hard to help you score. There's not a single stat that's going to come out of that that'll show what Bam just did. That's selflessness.
Eric Spoelstra told us before the game that Bam could be most improved player every year, now in his 6th season, for what he's added to his game. Holiday fouled as he got into the dotted line in the paint and going up to the basket. Missed the shot. The foul is on Gabe Vincent, his first, and the team's first of the quarter.
We talked about force, and I'm starting to see that from Jrue Holiday, who was being more assertive, in particular in taking his shot. He understands that the team needs a jolt of energy, and it's been actually a little bit of a tough stretch here as Jrue Holiday has had some illnesses that have kept him out of game and out of rhythm. But now they need him so much on a game like today where Giannis is out, and he's more than capable.
He's only attempted 4 field goals, the fewest of anybody on the floor right now for Milwaukee. He missed his first free throw, and it swirls the second around and out. 0 for 2 for Holiday, 89% free throw shooter. So it stays a 13-point lead for Miami. Exactly 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Top of the key, it's Vincent. Over the shoulder pass to his left for Adebayo. One dribble right, pull up short. Ball loose on the ground, and it's picked up by Ingles, who bounces it back for Holiday. Jrue Holiday with 5 points, averaging 19 on the year. Chest pass right, Lopez, the free throw line extended, gives it up for Connaughton, who drives to the top of the key, gives it to Holiday, gets it back, launches a three, and connects. Pat Connaughton, 5 points today, his first triple. It's the Heat 50, the Bucks 40, 90 seconds before the half. Vincent, the fourth-year point guard out of California, Santa Barbara, looking to free some space at the right angle. And there's a foul against Milwaukee on the floor. And that's on Joe Ingles, his first and the team's fourth. 1:20 to go in the first half. Miami substitution. Haywood Highsmith, the third-year forward out of Wheeling University, is in, and Oladipo, or is out. Oladipo is in, and now a technical foul has been assessed on Joe Ingles. So he was called for the personal, and it puts Jimmy Butler at the free throw line here. 84% for him. First free throw is good. The Heat 51 and the Bucks 40. Perhaps some frustration bubbling over there for Milwaukee with the way the game has gone.
Yeah, and I think this is actually a huge 1:20 left in the game for either team. You know, you're sitting here 11 points apart. You can either go in single digits down, or can the Heat finish this quarter strong?
Strus from beyond the arc, dribbles left side of the lane, missed it. Adebayo fighting for the rebound. It's out of bounds, landing on the white paint of the baseline off of his left hand, and it belongs to Milwaukee. Bucks down 11, 1:10 to go in the half. Substitution here as Bam Adebayo goes to the bench. A well-deserved rest heading into the break, replaced by the 7-footer Orlando Robinson.
Yeah, and he was disrupted there by Brook Lopez's shot blocking ability. He's a true candidate right now for Defensive Player of the Year. I spoke to him. He gave credit to our own PJ Carlissimo for getting him serious about defense in Brooklyn.
Allen puts up a left wing three, missed it. Lopez tips the rebound down to Ingles on the left block, and he scores the layup. 51-42. The Heat in front with 50 seconds to go in the second quarter. Butler dribbles high right wing. Now takes a left-handed dribble across the lane to the left block. Fadeaway over Lopez. Short, loose ball off of Lopez's thigh. It ends up with Butler on the left side wing. 10 on the shot clock for Miami at the right basket. Butler, one dribble across the lane. Deterred by Lopez. He missed it. Robinson the rebound. As he pivots with the ball under the basket, he elbowed Pat Connaughton and gets called for the offensive foul.
Am I exaggerating when I say that was Brook Lopez again? And what's really impressive, too, is that his ability to defend against the smaller player that time on Jimmy Butler and disrupt him twice from making a shot there. So you're seeing the versatility of his defensive prowess.
And now it's Lopez to set a screen for Holiday, top of the key. Pass left, Allen, three, good, with 15.4 to go. Miami led by 15 in the first half. It's now just 51-45 as the Heat have it for the final possession of the half. 8 seconds in the front court to the right. Oladipo with a slow dribble, one-on-one against Allen. Takes him left side of the lane, fades away, off glass, and good with 1.3 to go. Ingles with the inbound. Connaughton at midcourt puts it up, and his shot is off glass, no good. And the first half comes to a close. A dominant one for Miami, but the Bucks getting back in it as they hold a 53-45 lead.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent was fantastic on offense in the first half, and the Heat's defense, man, really disrupted the Bucks, who shot poorly and took tough shots and just seemed completely sticky and unable to get rhythm there. But what's keeping them in this? I really think at the heart of it, it's the defense of Brook Lopez that has just stymied the Heat enough so that they couldn't elongate the gap any further. That's allowed them to make those few points and buckets that they got count even more. They've got to do better on the offensive end, though, in the second half.
And that's on Drew Holiday. When he takes 15 or more shots, they are 13-2 on the year. Work yet to be done. Heat 53, Bucks 45 at the end of the first half. Now let's send it to Kevin Winter in the studio with the AutoZone halftime report.
Mike and Roz, AutoZone is the free fix finder service that can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free, and it can get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone, 13-7 run by the Milwaukee Bucks to close out that first half. The largest lead for Miami was 15. It is now 8. Up next on the AutoZone halftime report, Brooklyn 0-1 in this 1-month stretch without Kevin Durant. A lot of the pressure and a lot of the onus is going to fall on Kyrie Irving's shoulders. So what are some realistic expectations? Jalen Rose, we hear from him next. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Tom Brady, Geno Smith is a free agent. Jimmy G is a great one. Jacoby Brissett, Baker Mayfield. If I told you right now that you could sign any of those quarterbacks for your team, Bubba, which of those guys do you want? I forgot the list. Well, what kind of answer is that? You're the producer of the show now.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
J-Bob. What's J-Bob?
Yeah, I don't
That's just a cool nickname. Where did J-Bob come from, though? J-Bob. Well, I mean, it's just a cool nickname. A nickname comes out of nowhere. There's like no references.
Yeah, not a lot of people.
Just accept it. It sounds fresh. No, I'm not accepting it, and it doesn't sound fresh. J-Bob?
GJ and Max. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim of ID theft, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year at lifelock.com/sports.
This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kevin Winter with you inside our studios on the AutoZone halftime report. Take two between Miami and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Stolen away by Vincent, who comes across the timeline with a left-hand dribble. Pulls up, three left wing. Got it again. Gabe Vincent, unconscious for Miami. 18 points, and the Heat lead 39-27 with 6.5 to go before halftime.
Gabe Vincent had a career-high 28 the other night in the full game. He's got 21 now. Miami's lead is 8. For the Brooklyn Nets, they are sitting second in the Eastern Conference. They begin a 1-month stretch without Kevin Durant, already 0-1 in that stretch. They asked ESPN's Jalen Rose what he wants to see out of Kyrie Irving.
I feel Kyrie's offensive brilliance is just not going to be enough to have the Nets be a 500 caliber team without Kevin Durant in the lineup, because when he's at his best, it's not necessarily 10 assists, it's 35 points. And those guys, Ben Simmons, for example, had 0 in the previous game.
Right.
Claxton, while shooting 70+%, relies on drop-offs and his teammates to feed him for layups and dunks. Royce O'Neal is a capable three-point shooter. He shoots around 40%, but not a high-volume scorer. T.J. Warren has shown flashes of being that kind of player, in particular in the bubble. I just don't think they have the physicality up front other than Ben Simmons and the height up front other than Nick Claxton to combat the other team's interior play that they're going to go against.
The top 5 in the West are Denver, Memphis, New Orleans, Sacramento, and Dallas. It's kind of odd. Are we seeing a changing of the guard in the West, or is this just where they're at?
You can run, but you can't hide. Your eyes ain't deceiving you. I feel like the Denver Nuggets are the best team in that conference and have a legitimate chance to win that conference. Memphis, as I mentioned, led by John Morant, just got Triple J back. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And I love Desmond Bane's toughness and his three-point shooting, and Dylan Brooks. I call him my irrational confidence, my favorite irrational confidence player. Because last night when he went to bed, you could not tell him he wasn't the best player in the game, or he can't lock down the best player in the game. That's just how he approaches the game. And then, so I feel like those two teams have a legitimate chance to advance and win that conference. And we left off, I believe, the Phoenix Suns.
Yes, we did.
Who recently won the conference and still have CP3 and Devin Booker, who I think are going to miss Crowder as the season progresses. But I do feel like, as you mentioned, this is an opportunity for one of those young upstart teams to advance in the West. And I look at the Clippers like the Nets in a lot of ways. I remember getting the messages in the middle of the night that Kawhi Leonard are just going to go to the Clippers. And I remember us acknowledging the Nets putting their big three together. Then underwhelming as it relates to conference finals and NBA finals for the Nets and the Clippers. And so I don't see that happen for either one of those teams necessarily, in particular, making it to the finals this year.
ESPN's Jalen Rose, we have a long way to go. We have just now reached the midway point. Second half in Miami is next. This has been the AutoZone Halftime Report on ESPN Radio.
Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch, and no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, I bought one pair of loungewear, and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower. Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guaranteed. Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
The football playoffs are here, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great NFL ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
When you look at Justin Fields, he has progressed this season. Just surrounded with talent. You have the proof in the pudding across the National Football League. When you put talent around these young players, they thrive and they shine differently. The proof is in the pudding with all the young quarterbacks right now in today's game. The evidence is there.
Fitz and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
The Right Time
with Bomani Jones.
That was a Ryan Day vindication game. Even if they did not win that, like Ohio State, Georgia, and Alabama, the 3 schools, they get the players. Texas A&M's popped in and done a little something, but for years, those 3 had been a tier above everybody else. And if you're going to be Ohio State, you have to be competitive with Georgia. You have to be competitive when you play Alabama. Last time they played Alabama, they were not competitive. They were very competitive in this game.
The Right Time with Bomani Jones.
You can listen or follow on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Jerry in New York. I think Aaron Rodgers is really a terrible teammate. Reminds me of a guy bad-mouthing another receiver on his team because he felt like he wasn't getting enough passes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I wasn't getting enough passes. The hell you mean? They drafted me to give me the passes. They didn't draft me to stand around.
Key, that Wayne Krebet was something else.
GJ and Max, followed by Greeny. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bucks and the Heat on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app. Thanks for listening to the AutoZone Halftime Report. Second half in Miami is next. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
We are talking to Christian Kirk, wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Offense, defense, special teams just coming together, and that's what's helped us, especially in some of these close games against, better opponents.
Pleased to be joined by Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer.
For me, if I was voting, which I'm not, I would not let one game impact my voting for Jalen Hurts. I think right now, he is the MVP.
Talking to 5-time All-Star and 18-year NHL vet Chris Pronger.
There's other guys, they need to feel 100% both mentally and physically before they're willing to play. Some organizations don't like players playing hurt. Others are okay with it.
Bill's All-Pro safety Jordan Poyer is with us.
That's one thing I learned about playing Tom Brady throughout the years. Tom's really out there playing chess. Everybody else is out there playing checkers.
The biggest names in sports come here. And it all starts weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. And continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
NFL Wildcard Weekend is here. That's right. It has arrived. And the easiest way to get into the playoffs is with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers, join today to get started with $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code PLAY. So don't miss out. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia, and West Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming and Kansas or visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau. I like a certain je ne sais quoi. While Jake is more into the Cape Cod style home.
It's a classic look.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they can save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime, merci beaucoup, and cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
As part of its goal to make homes and hometowns better for all, Lowe's has committed $100 million to make a positive impact in local communities through its Lowe's Hometowns program. Each year through 2026, people across the country can nominate their hometown projects in need. Lowe's Hometowns will help restore and revitalize community spaces from gardens, parks, and food pantries to neighborhood housing, community centers, and much more. Visit lowes.com/hometowns for details on how you can nominate a project in your community starting January 23rd.
This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Miami with an 8-point lead. Back to Miami-Dade Arena for the second half. 8 in the box. The draws go to 1-8. Here's my Cousins.
Thank you, Kevin. As we get ready for the start of the third quarter, let's take a look at the box score. Gabe Vincent, 5 3-pointers for the Heat in the first half. First time he's ever done that in his career. 21 points. On the other side, Grayson Allen leading the Bucks with 12. That in part 3 of 4 from deep. And Brook Lopez with 10 points. Lopez also an impact on the defensive end. How about this? He contested 16 shots, on which Miami shot 5 of 16. Rise, that's 38% of all the shots Miami took. Brook Lopez contested that.
He was a force in the first half. And when your team is shooting low percentages and just can't get the rhythm going offensively, he's what allowed this game to still be within single digits and made it tougher on the shots of the Heat. But in this second half, the key for the Bucks right now, are you going to dictate anything in this game? Because they have been on the reactive side on both ends of the court. On defense, they haven't made the Heat uncomfortable with that first line of defense. Thank goodness for Brook Lopez back there changing the shots as the goalie at the rim. And then on offense, make the Heat move. They've been just stagnant on the offensive end. Move the ball.
Holiday with a pull-up 3 for the right wing, and it bounces off the rim long into the hands of Adebayo. It's the Heat and the white as they move right to left with a 53-45 lead. They're led by as many as 15 in the first half. Butler picked up his dribble right in the lane. Bounce pass top of the key, Adebayo. Shovels back for Strus. Left-handed dribble into the lane. Bounce feed right, Adebayo. It bounces off the rim, around and off. Down to Pat Connaughton. Connaughton 5 points in 15 minutes in the first half. Drew Holiday only 5 points on 2 of 5 shooting as he played all but 6 minutes in the first. Holiday floats it left of the lane for Lopez, and he pulls up, hits the front rim on the jumper, no. Heat 53, Bucks 45, a minute into the third quarter. It's Butler, right side, free throw line extended with a mismatch guarded by Lopez. Crossover dribble, pull up short corner, and he swishes it through. Heat 55, Bucks 45. A couple of ways he could have gone with that. He chose to create some space, and it works out. It's Portis, just under the basket right side, goes up, misses the layup, but he's fouled by Bam Adebayo, and that's the third on the Miami big man.
In the second half, I hope to see more of that activity inside the paint for the Bucks. They've just not been able to crack the defense consistently, and they've settled a lot. Right there, you get a pick and roll to the rim, and then you put pressure on the defense.
Portis with the first free throw, and it's rim, backboard, and in for the 8th-year forward out of Arkansas. Taken 22nd overall by the Bulls back in 2015. Some white socks just above the calves, a white headband, and a white undershirt. And he flicks the second to the basket, rattles around and in. Heat up 55-47.
And you have to credit Bobby Portis's readiness for the Bucks, whether they throw him in the starting lineup or have him coming off the bench. He gives them oomph out there.
I like that. Indescribable onomatopoeia from Bobby Portis. It adds a lot to it. 8 on the shot clock, Miami. Butler drives right side of the lane at the bucket, puts it up and scores off the window as he falls to the deck. He sprints back on defense as the Heat lead again by 10. Holiday into the lane. One dribble from the three-point line, and he lays it in. A response at the right side.
Bucks continuing to attack the paint.
Vincent, left side, pull up 3. Bangs off the back of the rim. Portis with the rebound, zips it ahead. Holiday.
I told you a key for the Bucks. Can you dictate the energy? And right now they are.
Portis straight away 3. Got it. And the Bucks feeling it as they come out of the locker room offensively on fire, only down by 5. Just 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. They've only led 1 point advantage in this game. They play 5 outside the paint at the left end. Butler from the right angle spins into the lane, shovels it underneath Adebayo. He dribbles out from under the basket. He's at the arc and now gives it off to his right. Butler pull up outside the lane, contested by Lopez, and the shot is short. No good. Brook Lopez once again, 7-footer inside the lane, contesting and challenging jumpers. Feeds to Portis on the right side of the lane, is stolen away by Vincent. It's the Heat right to left in their home white jerseys. Vincent with a bounce feed to his right for Butler, who stands above the right elbow, guarded by Grayson Allen. Shimmies, drives to the basket right side, floats off glass, no. Lopez uses his height to grab the rebound over 2 Heat players and falls to the floor as a foul gets called against Jimmy Butler of Miami, his first and the team's second in the third quarter. The Heat 57, the Bucks 52. With 9:04 to go in the third quarter, the Bucks third in the East coming into play today, and Miami 23-20, 3 games above 500, the highest mark they've been above 500 all year, as they play without 3 regulars today, Hero, Lowry, and Martin. At the right block, lay-in is good for Drew Holiday, and that's a timeout, Miami.
You know, the Heat have been in the middle this season. They have been average, and this is a team with championship aspirations. A lot of that has to do with health, but it was Bam Adebayo that says, we don't want to settle for mediocre.
It's as close as Milwaukee has been in quite some time. 57-54, the Heat lead with 8:50 to go in the third quarter. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is it. This is the year. Enough dreaming about growing my business online. It's time to get serious about selling in my style, as big as I want to grow, because there's nothing I can't do. It's time to get Shopify and take my business to the next level.
Whoa, someone's ready to take on the new year.
Oh, I thought I was talking to myself there. But heck yeah, 2023 is my year.
That's not your average resolution. That's a revolution. It's a New Year's revolution.
Start selling with Shopify to join the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Packed with industry-leading tools ready to ignite your growth, Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand. From templates that make site design simple to customizations that let you grow at your pace. This is possibility powered by Shopify. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. That's shopify.com/play. Go to shopify.com/play to start your New Year's revolution today.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
You can't ask for more of a football weekend than we have on the way. A wild, wild, wild card affair, which will conclude Monday night with a classic, the Cowboys against Tampa Tom. This will be the place to talk about it at screening, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny.
What a clown show they are. In a league where there is so much attention to, and rightfully so, paid to the disgraceful lack of minority hiring in the head coaching ranks, that the Texans basically, in back-to-back hires, gave African-American coaches a job that they had no opportunity to succeed in. Vince Lombardi wasn't doing more with these Texan teams the last 2 years than these two coaches have done. And to fire each of them after one season, and then they can, for the rest of time, say, oh, well, look how progressive our organization is. We hired 2 African-American head coaches. No, you didn't. You basically condemned both of them to having no chance whatsoever. The Texans are a joke. Now, you fire coaches back-to-back years. It suggests you had no intention of accomplishing anything. You have absolutely no belief in the decisions that you made. So why did you make them in the first place? They're a complete, unbridled, humiliating, embarrassing joke.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Kevin Witcher with you in our studios. Last couple of games, though, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Already know Chris Middleton. For Mike Budenholzer, what do they need out of Drew Holiday?
He's a great closer, so, but, we're probably going to need him to do more, early to, make sure that, collectively we're where we need to be to put himself in a position to maybe be a closer today. So, the ball will be in his hands a lot, make good decisions, be aggressive for himself. It's different without Giannis for Drew, but, he'll be ready for it.
Holiday, 9.7 assists, 1 steal, 2 boards. Milwaukee is now close to within 3. Back to the third quarter with Roscoe and Woody. Here's Mike Cousins.
Kevin, it's close as it's been since 8-5. We got 8:50 to go third quarter. Heat 57, Bucks 54. As the Heat inbound right to left. Roz, real quickly, stadium proposal just happened. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up. It was so cute. She said yes.
She has to. She's inside a stadium with all these people watching.
Look, that can go wrong fast, my friend.
Jimmy Butler, left side of the lane with the Heat at the left end. Gives it up to Vincent. High left wing dribble, pestered by Holiday. He drives inside the arc, pulls up from 17 feet, and scores 23 for Gabe Vincent, who is 9 of 12 from the field.
Yeah, no, Gabe's in his zone. Gabe Vincent is in his zone because Drew Holiday played that defense on him, too. He was right there with him.
Holiday was backing Vincent down on the right side of the lane, fell on the floor, picked up the ball, and called timeout. That stops the clock at 8:12. And Gabe Vincent, watch, why don't we? He scored a career-high 28 against a similar-looking Bucs squad on Thursday. Now has 23 with the timeout here, 8:12 to go in the third quarter. The Heat 59 and the Bucs 54. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Which teams are making moves and which teams need to just flat out move? Your Saturday means I'm locked in and ready for First Take right here, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Did you miss Canty and Carlin?
We are in our brand new studios. I got to tell you, though, the problem with the studio is shooting from the side for me is not good. I'm taking up a lot of space and everybody gets to see it.
So there's nothing wrong with taking up space. You do it literally and figuratively.
Can you look at this picture right now and say, that guy's got it going on?
That's my partner right there.
I understand
love
that.
It.
Appreciate
we are
the
a
fact you have
show
my back.
for the big, the bold, and the bald.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen and watch on the ESPN app. The Dominique Foxworth Show.
I believe that most quarterbacks and probably more players are failed than the players themselves not being good. It's the coaches and the situation failing them. I was just thinking that we should start the Shanahan test or the Andy Reid test. When we start talking about players stink or players are bust, especially offensive players, just ask yourself, what would he look like in San Francisco or in Kansas City?
Check out the Dominique Foxworth Show anywhere you get your podcast.
Kevin Witcher with you inside our studios. Reminder, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max coming up Monday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. Recap a full weekend around the NFL. Look ahead to Monday Night Football, Wild Card Edition, Bucs and the Cowboys from Tampa Bay. Coverage starts, kickoff is at 8:15 Eastern. Hey, Mike Cousins, Roz Goldenwood, you're at Miami-Dade Arena, which will have a new name at some point. The Jazz have just announced they're changing their name of their arena next year back to the Delta Center. I say bring back Greg Ostertag and Byron Russell for every game. Back to you.
From Vivint Smart Home Arena to the Delta Center, this was FTX Arena. It is officially no more, but it is still on the court here with that company going into bankruptcy, among other things. We got 8:12 to go, third quarter. The Heat 59, the Bucks 54. And it's Milwaukee in their purple road jerseys on offense, attacking the right side basket. Near sideline inbound from Holiday. He lofts it for Connaughton at the high right wing. Connaughton bounce feed Holiday. Outside Allen. Shot big, steps into a three off the front rim. Portis fighting for the rebound, and he's fouled as Max Strus was bent over at a 90-degree angle underneath him. And Strus picks up his first foul and Miami's third of the third quarter. So 14 on the shot clock for Milwaukee as Allen will trigger it in from the free throw line extended near side. Chest pass to Portis, hits him in the numbers. One dribble to his left, gives to Connaughton top of the key. He floats for Holiday, right elbow. Back out Connaughton, left wing three. Off the back rim, Grayson Allen, the offensive rebound. Gives it up for Holiday in front of the bucket. One dribble, off to the left and misses it over the top of Adebayo. Good opportunity there for Holiday, who's got 9 points, and the Bucks trail by 5. Heat at the left end. Butler at the right elbow. Gives it off Strus, top of the key. He flips it back for Butler inside the left elbow. One dribble, spin left, and scores off the window. Beautiful move, Ross.
Yeah, the amount of space and land he was able to cover with that one drop step spin to the bucket. Absolutely lost the defense with one dribble.
The geographic advantage. Lopez with a three from the right wing over Adebayo. It is good. It's a 4-point game. Heat 61, Bucks 57, as Brook Lopez has a Milwaukee high 13.
What more can you ask from your center? Defend the rim. Oh yeah, and then space it out for us and hit threes. like that is such a luxury to have, and his dependability, and so much of that comes from his health. He's gone through surgeries and back issues, and now he's finally feeling like a full version of himself out there, and he's just been a hugely important piece of their success this season without Chris Middleton regularly, and certainly without a Giannis tonight.
Ball was kicked out of bounds by Grayson Allen. Miami gets it in. A floater right side of the lane, no good from Strus. Adebayo tried to tip it back in, and it swirled out. The Bucks can make it a one-possession game here, down 4. Allen gives to Connaughton near corner three. It is good, and it's 61-50. The Heat, their lead was once 15, now just 1 with 6.5 to go third quarter. Adebayo one-on-one in the lane against Lopez, fades away and hits a quick response to put the Heat up 3. Bam Adebayo gets the bucket over the 7-footer. Connaughton up top, passing it right, tipped out of bounds by Bam Adebayo at midcourt. Shot clock at 17.
I'm seeing the Bucks starting to play with a little bit more pace on the offensive end, bringing it up the court faster. You don't want to deal with the other team's pesky defense? Well, beat them down the court then. Don't let them set up.
Part of the problem for the Bucks in the first half, where they shot under 40%. Feed into the lane for Portis. He lost it, dribbles it out from the right side, spins baseline right against Highsmith, and the reverse lay-in no good, but he's fouled by Haywood Highsmith, his first, team's 4th.
The difference in this half from the first one for the Bucks, they're not settling for contested jumpers. They're not on their heels as much on the offensive end. They're attacking the rim. Even if they don't score, they're creating foul situations and putting the Heat out of position.
They just looked sleepy without Giannis on the floor. Granted, it's not your average absence as Portis hits the first free throw, 63-61. Heat in front, 31 points a game, 3rd in the NBA in scoring, 3rd in rebounding. You could say, oh, on the other side, they're missing 3 players. The power of 3 players for any other team might equal 1 for Giannis. Portis good on the second. It's a 1-point game once again. Gabe Vincent brings it up the court right to left. Vincent with a game-high 23. Portis and Lopez, the leaders for Milwaukee, each with 13, and Allen with 12. Vincent, high right wing, gets into the paint, floats it, and rattles it through. Gabe Vincent with 25, just 3 off his career high from Thursday. Heat 65, Bucks 62. Holiday, top of the key, left for Carter. Now it's Portis in the far short corner, guarded by Highsmith. He backs him down, fades, puts it up with the right. Too much off the back rim as it trampolines into the near corner. Vincent was falling out of bounds and tossed it to Oladipo for a save. 5:29 before the end of the third quarter. The Heat looking to build a 3-point lead in a game where they led by as many as 15. Adebayo, right block. He's stuck against Portis. Sends it outside for Oladipo from the right wing. Dribbles into the lane, fades away, airballs it. It's grabbed by Butler, who puts it in and scores for 2. The Heat up by 5. Javon Carter pushed quickly into the front court right for Milwaukee. The rest of his team wasn't working at the same speed. Right angle, Holiday, backing down Vincent in the lane. 10-footer, fade away right side, every part of the rim and off, and he goes for the offensive rebound, doesn't touch it as it's into the Bucks bench and out of bounds off of Miami with 4:51 to play in the third. So Grayson Allen will get it in. He and Brook Lopez have each hit 3 threes today. That's a team high. 5 on the floor right now. Holiday, Lopez, Carter, Connaughton, and Ingles for Milwaukee. And the Heat have Highsmith, Vincent, Robinson, Oladipo, and Butler. Inbounds pass goes right near midcourt for Connaughton and takes one dribble, zips it left for Ingles, who holds over his head, gives it to Lopez, 17 feet away, straight on. His jumper off to the right.
And in that 2-3 zone, Brook Lopez going to the heart of it, and nobody's contesting. So they keep gambling and giving up that shot.
Lopez has shown, though, he's got the ability to make them pay. They don't call him Splash Mountain for nothing. Butler, left block, passes right block for Robinson, who goes up and scores with Lopez coming over late. The Heat lead by 7 with 4:20 to go in the third quarter here at Miami-Dade Arena. Holiday off a screen, top of the key, into the paint, floats on the right, and he's fouled as he misses the layup and sends Butler crashing into the basket stanchion where it's padded there on the right end. 15 foul of the quarter against Miami, and Holiday will go to the free throw line.
Drew Holiday able to absorb the contact and get in the paint. That's something that he's worked on. His strength really differentiates him. And I've had a conversation with him. He talked about working out barefoot because it starts with strong feet while he lifts weights, even barefoot. Then he used a lot of weighted vests to play one-on-one and works from the ground up because on offense, he says he's often in the paint a lot, which we're seeing here tonight as he's getting in there, absorbing contact, posting up, trying to use his legs and his lower body to help on the defensive end too. So that's been a point of emphasis for his workout routine.
You ever hear about that guy, the Liver King, on Instagram, who is jacked up on steroids?
I want to see the connection you're going to make between the Liver King and Drew Holiday.
He claimed he only ate raw meat because that was what the cavemen did. It sounds like Drew Holiday's barefoot workout regimen. You're not going to play in an NBA game in bare feet, but clearly whatever he's doing still works.
It's working. I think I could go shoeless more myself. Maybe I'll be better at things.
After the 2 made free throws, it's the Heat 69, the Bucks 63, with Miami working left end and an offensive foul against Miami. Looked like an illegal screen there. See who they get for the foul, and they get Haywood Highsmith his second. So the fouls have really racked up. The 6th personal foul for Miami here in the third quarter. None have been called on the Bucks.
What do you think about shoeless broadcasting? Little shoeless play-by-play?
You know,
make you better?
I don't know that the smell of chicken fingers and beer up here is enough to erase the smell of bare feet in the arena.
Oh, that's gross,
so
man.
Let's keep our
it's
shoes
the Drew
on.
Holiday way, though.
Let's keep our shoes on.
I don't know about you. My feet don't smell like chicken and beer.
Mike Cousins, Razgold Onwude, and our ESPN radio crew with you here from Miami. The Bucks turn it over. Offensive foul on Brook Lopez, his second personal. Still Miami by 6, 3.5 to play in the third quarter. Strus, free throw line extended right side, sends it top of the key, and Oladipo 3 is good. Victor Oladipo has 9 points, and the Heat once again lead by 9.
Victor Oladipo's carving out a nice roll off the bench to help the Heat, just picking his spots and making impact.
Holiday swerves his way into the lane on the dribble, sends it out. Green with a 3. The rookie out of Northern Iowa, a sharp shooter at 72-66.
So come back to Victor Oladipo. We were speaking with Coach Spoelstra before the game, and he talked about how he could have impact in a similar way that Tyler Hero did coming off the bench.
Loose ball in the lane left side, out of bounds off of Miami. Last touch by Oladipo. It was a bounce feed looking for him inside a triangle of purple-clothed defenders. Heat 72, Bucks 66 with 2:50 third quarter. Holiday, high right wing. He feeds Carter on the baseline. Bounce feed, far corner for Ingles, who drives into the lane, gets stripped, no call. So he turns to the referee, looking for one, and now has to get back on defense, guarding the left side basket. Butler way away from the basket near midcourt, takes a couple of dribbles right side of the lane, floats it off the back rim, and tipped out of bounds off of the center, Orlando Robinson. It belongs to Milwaukee.
It's a small thing, and you have to be looking for it, but Drew Holiday's intensity on the ball is changing the way the Heat look. They don't look as comfortable. He forced Jimmy Butler to have to change directions. He hassled him around the screen, and then he missed the shot.
And Holiday always looking to get to the rim. He does there, puts it up with the left from short range and makes it a 4-point game, 72-68. Holiday with 12 points on 5 of 10 from the floor.
Drew Holiday's willingness to fight through the screens is so impressive.
Oladipo at the top of the key, turns right, a pass to the near sideline, nearly stolen, picked up by Haywood Highsmith. He swerves into the lane, floats it with the right, airballed it. Robinson picks it up, puts it back up. Front rim, back rim, no. He gets his own miss and sticks it in to put the Heat up 74-68.
That's a tough play to make because it wasn't from a lack of effort from the Bucks.
Holiday passes near corner. Green, long on the 3, into the hands of the 7-footer Robinson. That was a good look there. Green just couldn't knock it down. Oladipo, near side, short corner. Pull up, no, and the rebound belongs to Ingles.
It's a much more active defensive presence from the Bucks than the first half. They are everywhere.
They were down by 15 in the first half. Have gotten within 1 here in the second. Ingles with the top of the key 3 gets them within 3 points again. The Heat 74 and the Bucks 71 with 1:07 to go. Slow walk for Oladipo over the flaming basketball at midcourt. He drives right, crossover, sweeping dribble left. Shovels back for Robinson at the free throw line. A toss behind him for Strus. Sings it right side. Highsmith with a 3. And he cashes it in. 77-71. Highsmith with the triple. He's up to 8 points. Leading scorer for Miami, as it has been all day, is Gabe Vincent with 25. Jimmy Butler behind him with 16. Lopez, high right angle. Up top, Ingles. Lopez gets it back. Gives to the corner. Holiday with a 3. Off the front of the iron. Carter tried to tip the rebound, and it belongs to Strus and the Heat right to left. 28 seconds in the quarter. Shot clock is at 17. An 8-second difference between the two timers. Oladipo crossing over with his right and his left at midcourt. Holiday trying to force him to his left. Oladipo goes that way. With the free throw line extended. Cross-court pass right. It's Strus with a 3 in the air. No good. And a fight for the rebound under the basket. With 8.5 seconds to go. A foul is called. Brooke Lopez was hooking Orlando Robinson under the basket. So Lopez with his 3rd personal foul here. And the ball stays with Miami. 8.5 seconds to go in the quarter. The Heat lead the Bucks by 6. Well, with Giannis out of the lineup today, the troubling trend for Milwaukee, which has averaged in their last 10 games 110 points a game, 28th in the NBA, and they're likely to go into the 4th quarter sitting at 71. The inbounds comes from Vincent to the top of the key. It's Strus taking a dribble handoff from Bam. He drives, floats, back iron, no, long rebound. Holiday with a 3-quarter court shot, and it's wide of the rim, no good. And we are 3 quarters done here in Miami. The Heat 77 and the Bucks 71.
I saw a much better defensive effort from the Bucks there, and they absolutely did dictate the way that the Heat attacked or were able to attack on offense. And I think the tone setter there was Drew Holiday, who's the first line of defense on the ball, working at it like a gnat, being pesty and working through a number of screens.
The Heat will break out their citronella candles, and the Bucks will try and bring the offense in the 4th quarter. 77-71, Miami over Milwaukee at the end of the 3rd. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim of ID theft, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com/sports.
The football playoffs are here, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great NFL ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch. And no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, "I bought one pair of loungewear and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower. Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or it's free guarantee." Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Kevin Richard with you inside our studios. It was a 15-point lead for Miami. It was 8 at the half, and now in the third quarter, it dwindled down to 1, but a quick little flourish by the Heat. They've got a 77-71 lead as we make the turn for home and go to the fourth quarter. Milwaukee has knocked down 13 threes. Shoeless broadcaster, shoeless workouts came up. Mike Cousins, Roscoe, and Liddy. I don't care what you do. Just put your darn shoes on the airplane. Those people have got to go. Back to you.
There's a reason they keep you in a soundproof booth with windows. It's so we can keep an eye on you in the studio, Kevin. Our engineer today is Jack Hicks. Our producer, Mike Martino, with you from Miami-Dade Arena. 6-point game as we start the fourth quarter. More of a sense of purpose, desire on both ends of the floor for the Bucks in the third. Miami inbounds from right to left as we start the fourth quarter. Victor Oladipo with a waist-high dribble guarded by Grayson Allen at the top of the key. Chest pass, Bam Adebayo, left elbow, backing down Portis. An off-balance shot, no good. He hit the front rim. Portis fights for the rebound. Ball is still loose, and Connaughton controls. It's Carter up the near sideline. One dribble past Oladipo to the basket. Reverse lay-in. He missed it. Too strong from Javon Carter. Adebayo brings it over midcourt, challenging Portis straight away. And he puts it off the rim, no. Offensive rebound, Kane, who spins and scores. Jamal Kane, the two-way player. Life is a lot better for him in Miami than it is in the G League in South Dakota. Carter, top of the key, passes left for Ingles. The 35-year-old from Australia picks up his dribble, gives it to Connaughton, free throw line extended. It's Portis in the far short corner. They work it around the key. Allen from the right side, drives, hangs, passes Connaughton in the far corner, and he splashes home a three. Heat 79, Bucks 74, early fourth quarter. Oladipo comes up the floor, high left side. Crossover dribble, top of the key, three, uncontested. He got it. Joe Ingles with a confused look as he walks back up the floor looking at his head coach, Mike Budenholzer. That was a defensive blown assignment there. Heat up 82-74. Portis floats just inside the right elbow, swishes it through. Back to a 6-point game, 90 seconds into the fourth.
Bobby Portis is being a star in his role. In addition to that jumper, 2 plays in a row, he took the best of Bam Adebayo going right at him and defended.
Oladipo in the lane, floats, misses the shot, but he's fouled. Grayson Allen was in tight coverage there on top of Oladipo. And the foul is against Allen. That's his second. And the first team foul against Milwaukee here in the fourth quarter. Heat 82, Bucks 76 as the clock stops at 10:18.
These are those critical non-Brook Lopez moments for the Bucks. Extra critical today because there's also no Giannis Antetokounmpo on the court. So Bobby Portis being ready to anchor the interior defense as the first option inside. and going up against a tough matchup and Bam Adebayo and his aggressiveness and ability and answering 2 times in a row. I mean, that sets a tone for the fourth quarter and also allows players like Brook Lopez to get rest and take a little pressure off of him.
Lopez has been impactful today, playing second most minutes on the roster, 27. Holiday's been out there for 29 minutes today. Second free throw good. Both of them dropped through for Oladipo. 84-76, the Heat by 8. 10-10 to go fourth quarter. Allen drives outside the arc left wing. It's Carter now in the near side corner. He splashes home a 3 and gets ready to defend right away on Gabe Vincent coming up the floor. He's locked in.
Pop, 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 pop. That's how the ball just moved around the paint to create that shot. Excellent shot creation and ball movement.
Oladipo drives to the right side of the basket and pushes Portis underneath as he scores. 86-79 Miami. An answer for every time that Milwaukee has been able to drop it in.
And that's so huge for the second unit from the Heat. Jimmy Butler's not in the game. Tyler Hero's out. But Victor Oladipo is able to manufacture something.
Grayson Allen was at the top of the key. Shot fake. Pass back for Carter. Allen gets it right wing. His three-pointer's too strong. And the rebound, Adebayo. Heat by 7. Strus, high right wing at the angle. Gives it to Adebayo at the free throw line. He drives off balance, floats over Portis, and misses it. Portis with the rebound, gives it ahead for Allen, who passes outside left wing. Connaughton with the three-pointer, too much on it. Adebayo with yet another rebound. Adebayo dribbles into the lane, and he gets hit by Allen on the way to the basket. It was Allen and Portis defending. Grayson Allen, 2 fouls here in short order. He's up to 3 personals now. 9:02 to go in the fourth. The Heat 86 and the Bucks 79. And here comes Brook Lopez back into the game for Milwaukee. Joe Ingles is the sub. So they get a lot bigger on defense here with Brook Lopez at 34 years old in his 15th season, ready to go head-to-head with Bam Adebayo. On the inbound, Strus near the logo. One dribble left, pull up 3. A long triple is good for Max Strus. The Heat by 10.
It's great to see Strus hitting shots. He had an excellent shooting season last year. This year, his shot percentages have been down. A lot of that having to do with rotations and differences of roles with players in and out, but looking more comfortable and assertive here.
Well, they got to know that's where he's going to shoot. 62% of his points come from beyond the arc, 4th most of any player in the league. After that triple, Mike Budenholzer calls a Milwaukee timeout. We've got 8:47 to go. The Heat 89 and the Bucks 79. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Okay, Julie, have you made your decision?
Oh, wow, I have. This was a tough choice. I had such a great time with Brad, but I am gonna have to pick Geico.
Interesting.
Geico is just, sorry, I'm getting emotional. Been by my side, for so long with great customer service.
I thought we had something, Julie.
I'm sorry, Brad. Geico is just always there for me whenever I need them.
It's an insurance company.
No, it's an insurance partner, Brad.
For the choice you can always rely on, go to geico.com.
NFL Wildcard Weekend is here. That's right. It has arrived. And the easiest way to get into the playoffs is with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers, join today to get started with $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code PLAY. So don't miss out. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia, and West Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming and Kansas, or visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee.
This is it. This is the year. Enough dreaming about growing my business online. It's time to get serious about selling in my style, as big as I want to grow, because there's nothing I can't do. It's time to get Shopify and take my business to the next level.
Whoa, someone's ready to take on the new year.
Oh, I thought I was talking to myself there. But heck yeah, 2023 is my year. That's not your average resolution. That's a revolution. It's a New Year's revolution. Start selling with Shopify to join the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Packed with industry-leading tools ready to ignite your growth, Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand. From templates that make site design simple to customizations that let you grow at your pace. This is possibility powered by Shopify. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. That's shopify.com/play. Go to shopify.com/play to start your New Year's revolution today.
Kevin Winter with you inside our studios. I want to thank you for logging on to our Twitter account at ESPN Radio to vote in the AutoZone in the Zone poll question. 37% of you said Jimmy Butler would be the player to get in the zone. Right now, the Heat are back in the zone. The lead, which was down to 1 here in the second half, back to 10. 8:47 to go in the fourth. 89-79 with Roscoe to Woody. Here's my Cousins.
Kevin, it was a Max Strus triple that led us into the timeout. Milwaukee to the bench to our right. All the coaches today wearing either gray or light blue pullovers. Bench to our left, the Miami sideline, where the Heat coaches are wearing black pants, black polos. They look kind of like discreet security at the club. They're there. You don't see them necessarily, but they're there. Fans on their feet here out of the timeout. Bucks in the road, purple jerseys, Heat in the white, and it's the Bucks inbounding at the right end. Connaughton triggers it in for Holiday, who's straight away between the circles. Pass short to his right for Portis. 2 dribbles to the elbow. Picks it up, gives it back to Holiday, top of the key. Left block. It's Connaughton off the pass from Holiday. Misses the short-range jumper, and the Heat have it. 8:30 to play.
And these are the moments when you have Giannis Antetokounmpo in the game. He can get the ball and immediately create a bucket on his own.
Oladipo tries to do that. He misses, and a follow slam from Adebayo. Nobody had a thought of boxing him out. The Heat up 91-79. Right side basket. Portis goes up. He's under the basket, missed it against the rim, and then gets fouled going for the loose ball. Foul there is against Gabe Vincent, his second, the team's first of the quarter.
And I point out that ability of Giannis because it's in these moments where the game is right there and he's not in and not playing and available. You wonder, well, where's the bucket going to come from? And sometimes just getting a Giannis Antetokounmpo touch settles and grounds the offense and the ability of what they can do out there.
Pass to the basket right side, intercepted by Miami.
Another kind of purposeless offensive possession. There's no anchor right now.
Oladipo cross-court pass, Adebayo a slam. Miami back out in front by 14, 93-79.
And the purposelessness on offense then translated to a lackadaisical defense.
Holiday pickpocketed by Oladipo, goes right to left for a bucket and pumps up the crowd. Miami with its largest lead of the day by 16, 95-79 with 7:38 to go in the fourth quarter.
That was a really critical spurt right there, and it started with a lack of intensity and intention, and like I said, purpose on both ends of the court, but really offensively. Like, what are the Bucks going to do to puncture this lead? And then defensively, they lost all that steam and momentum they had built. It just snowballed.
Defense into offense, an 11-0 run by the Heat. They're up 95-79 with 7:38 in the fourth quarter. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
As part of its goal to make homes and hometowns better for all, Lowe's is committed $100 million to make a positive impact in local communities through its Lowe's Hometowns program. Each year through 2026, people across the country can nominate their hometown projects in need. Lowe's Hometowns will help restore and revitalize community spaces from gardens, parks, and food pantries to neighborhood housing, community centers, and much more. Visit Lowe's.com/hometowns for details on how you can nominate a project in your community starting January 23rd.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
J-Bob. What's J-Bob?
Yeah, I don't
That's just a cool nickname. Where did J-Bob come from, though? J-Bob. Well, I mean, it's just a cool nickname. A nickname comes out of nowhere and there's like no references.
Yeah, not a lot of
Man, just
Bob.
accept it. It sounds fresh. No, I'm not accepting it, and it doesn't sound fresh. J-Bob?
G, J, and Max. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kevin, what you with you in our studio? Time now for the trivia answer brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It ain't football season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve. We told you, we asked you rather, when was the last time the top four teams in the Western Conference, or the top four teams in the West rather, Denver, Memphis, New Orleans, Sacramento? I asked you which of those four teams is the only one that ever has a finals appearance in their franchise's history. Mike and Roz, the answer is Sacramento. And by the way, they weren't in Sacramento. They were in Rochester in 1851.
That's some good Western New York trivia. Get us a garbage plate to go along with that. We got a full Rochester day. 7:35 to go, fourth quarter. The Heat 11-0 run up 16, their largest lead of the day. Another steal by Oladipo at the top of the key as he works right to left and slows it down. Gives it up to Vincent, who today first undrafted player with 25 points and 5 steals since Jeremy Lin back in 2016. A lob left side of the basket finds Adebayo. He's knocked off his mark as he misses the try and goes to the free throw line. And before he does that, we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Here in Miami, Mike Cousins along with Rozgold Onwude. We've got 7:13 to go in the fourth quarter. The Heat now lead 96-79 after the first free throw there by Bam Adebayo on the foul by Brook Lopez, his fourth.
And the opportunity to get to the free throw line is created by Victor Oladipo on the defensive end. Now, it has not been perfect on offense. There have been some mistakes, but that also comes with the reps and the ability to get comfortable, in his offensive role with this team. But the defensive end, I actually spoke to him before the game. He said his speed, his confidence on the defensive end, that hasn't left at all.
Adebayo now up to 12 points, making it the 39th game he's played in this year with double figures and the 55th straight overall dating back to last season. 6 on the shot clock. Holiday left elbow. Whips it out. Connaughton, a left angle three. He's got it. Uncontested there. 97-82. Inside 7 minutes to go. The Heat comfortably in front, trying to take 2 games in 3 days from Milwaukee, the team that sits in third place in the East, with the Heat looking to go 4 games above 500 for the first time all year. 13-footer right in the lane. Good for Oladipo, who's now got 20.
A nice thing about having Oladipo out there is he can run your offense. He can create his own shot. He can play a number of positions for the team.
In his 10th season out of Indiana University. Ingles, free throw line extended right. Gives it up Holiday, who's fouled on the drive. And that came before the shot. Foul is on Victor Oladipo, number 1 on the 30-year-old. Substitution here for Milwaukee. A.J. Green replaces Bobby Portis.
And we spoke with Coach Spo before the game, and he talked about the patience the organization needed to have in their approach of Victor Oladipo, because they obviously wanted him back sooner, but it just hadn't worked out that way with his health.
Second year with him with Miami, former second overall pick back in 2013 behind Anthony Bennett. At the right elbow, it's Holiday. He gives it out left wing, and Ingles' three is short for the southpaw. Adebayo clears the glass. 5:55 to play. The Heat 99-82 over the Bucks. Oladipo into the front court with a slow dribble with his left hand, waist high. He feeds Adebayo, 15-foot jumper, back iron and backboard, down to Connaughton. Drew Holiday, 12 points today. He gives to the near corner for Green. He hits the three, and that's his job. Eric Spoelstra immediately walks onto the court, calls a Miami timeout with 5:34 to go. It's the Heat 99 and the Bucks 85.
And here's a moment where it feels like, have the Bucks run out of steam? Do they have anything, another punch, another wave of energy to bring out there? The game is still here with a lot of time, but they just seem a little bit demoralized
on both ends of the court. We need a change in body language and effort out there.
Today's attendance is 19,620. That's a sellout, and the number is brought to you by Vivid Seats, where you earn rewards with every purchase. Vivid Seats Rewards is your ticket to more tickets. Vivid Seats, life happens live. As they say with a sellout, it's their 525th straight sellout today, good for the 5th longest streak in NBA history. That goes all the way back to the spring of 2010. The longest current streak and the longest all-time is 891 and counting by the Mavericks, dating all the way back to 2001. And there's a pretty good atmosphere in here.
I'm always happy to be in Miami. Nice weather.
I mean, even if it was July and there's no basketball, sure.
Yeah, period. Right.
She's Roz Gold on Woody. I'm Mike Cousins along with you here at Miami-Dade Arena, formerly the American Airlines Arena, dating back to 1999, and a name to be determined coming in the future. Out of the timeout, Heat have the basketball at a 99-85 lead with 5:30 to play in the fourth quarter. Front court left, it's Oladipo, hounded by Holiday. They switch off. Connaughton, screen left from Adebayo. Oladipo's three is too long, and Lopez takes it over his head. Left to right, Ingles at the right angle, shares with his left hand for Connaughton, who takes one dribble, ships it back over to Ingles. Shot clock is down to 10. Ingles stops at the three-point arc, bounces to his right for Holiday in the short corner. Backing down against Vincent, fades away off the glass, no good. Everything but the finish there for Drew Holiday, who's 5 of 13 from the floor, 12 points. Bobby Portis, a Milwaukee high 15, and Gabe Vincent sitting at 25 for Miami. Oladipo drives right to the lane, missed it too long, and it's cleaned up by Adebayo, who's up to 14 points to go along with 13 rebounds.
He's just in there, Bam Adebayo, doing the blue-collar work. He is willing to follow the shot, to go in there and offensive rebound, to screen, all the things.
Long three, Holiday, right rim, and immediately out of bounds on the black painted hardwood to the right of the basket.
You know, we're going to talk about the great game Gabe Vincent had. Oh, he scored the ball a ton, and Victor Oladipo's punch off the bench. But, you know, we might lose how much activity and great conditioning and selflessness it takes for Bam Adebayo to get his nose in there and make a difference each play.
Roz, here is the Heat going to the front court left, 10 on the shot clock. Bam Adebayo, a couple minutes ago, only had like 6 points. Here he takes the feed from Vincent, dunks it home.
We're going to talk about that dunk, though.
Now Adebayo's got 16 points, 13 rebounds, and the Heat are up by 18. This is now their largest lead of the game. Near corner, Carter, off-balance three. He missed it. And with 3:50 to go, you get a sense of offensive resignation right now from Milwaukee that this game is out of reach.
The body language is, yeah. It's like, if I could describe what the Bucks look like, it's as if they are collectively sighing on the court.
Adebayo, a shot fake at the free throw line, goes past Lopez and up with the left for two. Adebayo's now got 18 points. 105-85. AJ Green rattles home a three from the left side corner for Milwaukee, 105-88.
It happened fast, too. Like, it escalated quickly here, and there was that critical stretch where the Bucks came out and just looked purposeless, as if they didn't know how to manufacture points for consecutive possessions. They lost their mental focus right in the top part of the fourth quarter on the defensive end, lost that intensity they had got used to get back into the game, and you could feel why missing their superstar and Giannis Antetokounmpo. You could feel the weight of that in those moments when it looked like they didn't know quite what to do.
And it doesn't exactly bode well for them going forward. ESPN Analytics says that they have the 6th most difficult schedule remaining in the NBA. A loss today puts them 27-16. What's also, though, concerning, certainly they expect to get Giannis back. This is not a major injury. It's routine left knee soreness. But they've averaged 110 points a game over the last 10. That's third to last in the league.
Yeah.
And they've got 3 minutes to go to get to 100. They're down right now 105-88.
I'll tell you what, Mike, I'm not worried about the Bucks. I'm not worried about the Bucks at all. They're a really good team. They really just, need to get healthy. They've had a lot of lack of continuity in the past few games with different guys in and out. This is a really good team that
right now we're in the heart of, as we like to say, the dog days of January. They've got to fine-tune aspects of their offense. But I think all of this are things that can be fixed and relatively quickly. This is a championship contender.
And they're still hoping to get Chris Middleton healthy. He sat for the first 20 games after wrist surgery, came back for 7 games and has been out with a knee issue. Now 15 straight games, although he did return to practice this week. They said they wanted to get him some time with their G League team, which is located in Wisconsin, before he's able to come back. Middleton has missed 35 out of 42 games coming into this one. Inbounds for Adebayo at the left end. He got it at the free throw line, took 2 dribbles right, hands it off for Vincent, who shimmies his way to the basket right side, lays it up and in. Vincent, 1 shy of his career high, now with 27 points. Carter works free throw line extended on the far side. Up to Ingles, top of the key. 2 dribble stops, floats for Portis, who's fouled under the basket by Kane. Looked like a pretty clean contest there for Kane, going up to try and stop the lob. Nevertheless, Kane given his first foul in the third against Miami. 2:44 to go in the fourth quarter. The Heat 107 and the Bucks 88. And now some more players coming in off the bench. Thanasis Antetokounmpo, the brother of Giannis, is in for the first time today. Sandro Mamukelashvili is back in, another reserve big man, along with Marjan Beauchamp. 24th overall pick this past year by Milwaukee. Carter on the floor as well with A.J. Green. And it's Green, top of the key, 6 on the shot clock. He can shoot from deep, mismatch against Adebayo. Pull up with a long 2, airballed it, and Kane is there to take it away in the yellow-painted lane. 2:25 fourth quarter. Heat on their way to a victory, 107-88. Oladipo between the circles. A chest-high dribble. He feeds Bam at the left elbow, backing down A.J. Green. Turnaround jumper, just left it short, and the rebound by Antetokounmpo. Carter in the front court right. Mamukelashvili. Pump fake, 3-pointer, got it. He showed that off at his days at Seton Hall and drains an open shot there, 107-91, inside 2 minutes to go. Oladipo into the front court. He's got 20 points today, 8 of 16 shooting. Picks up his dribble, gives it for Adebayo inside the arc, gets it back, veers right at the elbow, off his left foot, fade away, no good. Off balance, and it's Carter zooming into the front court right. Into the far wing, Beauchamp puts it on the deck against Strus. Lost his balance outside the lane, sends it to the top of the key. Antetokounmpo drives lane, passes right. Right angle, Mamukelashvili, his 3 is long, and Strus grabs it for Miami. 1:15 to go, the Heat 107 and the Bucks 91. The Heat will improve to 24-20, their highest mark above 500 on the season, as they sit 8th in the Eastern Conference today, in the playoff picture. And here's another dunk. Adebayo soaring uncontested to the rim left side, 20-13 for Bam Adebayo. Jamal Cain quickly with a foul against Javon Carter. Seeing a couple subs waiting to come in. Haywood Highsmith and Orlando Robinson going to come off the bench here as Adebayo takes a seat with a minute to play. And the day is done as well for Gabe Vincent. 11 of 14 from the floor. Vincent had a career-high 28 on Thursday and 27 here today. 55 seconds to go. It's the Bucks working to the right side basket. Top of the key. Mamukelashvili lets a lefty 3-pointer fly. It hits the back iron. It's tipped out of bounds and last touched by the Heat. So 14 on the shot clock. 47 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. The Heat 109 and the Bucks 91. Carter will get it in. Baseline left of the basket. He does for Beauchamp, who shares up top. Antetokounmpo. Dribble handoff to Green at the right angle. Cross-court pass left, Mamukelashvili. He's got 5 to shoot. Gives it up to Carter to his left. 2 dribbles into the lane, fades, floats with the right, around and in as it bounces off the rim. Javon Carter, 10 points on the day. The Heat 109 and the Bucks 93. 8-second difference, shot clock and game clock. The ball was tipped into the backcourt away from Oladipo by Antetokounmpo. He gives to Strus off to his left. 2 dribbles into the paint. It's Kane from the right block. He puts it up, fouled Basket no good. Kane will go to the free throw line after rejoining the team Sunday from Sioux Falls in the NBA G League on a two-way contract. He spent 4 years at Marquette and his 5th year at Oakland University, playing for Greg Kampe, one of the longest tenured coaches in the college game. First free throw is good. The Heat 110 and the Bucks 93. And a great mark here from Miami as well, allowing 109 points a game, second best in the league behind Cleveland. And the Bucks will not hit 100 today. Second free throw is good for Kane, 111-93. And the Bucks bring it left to right for the final possession of regulation. Carter with a right-handed dribble. Shares it off for Mahmoud Kelishvili with 3 seconds to go. He drives into the lane. His layup from the left side is good with 0.3 of a second to play. And the ball inbounded by Miami. And the game is over. The Heat are winners, 111-95. They led by as many as 15 in the first half. Milwaukee trimmed that down to just 1 in the second half. And then the Heat blew it open. A lead of as many as 20 points in the fourth quarter to claim victory, 111-95. Players come onto the floor to exchange congratulations with one another after the Heat pick up the win for the second time in 3 days against Milwaukee. And an impressive win as well for Miami, given that they were without 3 regulars today. Tyler Hero for a second straight game, the same for Kyle Lowry, their point guard, and Caleb Martin battling a left quadriceps strain. That's in addition to the guys that have been out for a while, including Duncan Robinson, who's out for a month with a finger injury that he had surgery on. So the Heat trying to get back to full strength are now 24-20, and the Bucks with the loss wrap up a 4-game road trip at 2-2 at 27-16. Let's go down to the floor. Raz Gold-Onwude with Victor Oladipo of Miami.
Congratulations on the win. What are you learning about the impact you can make on the game on both ends as you continue to get more reps and opportunities on the court?
Yeah, man. I mean, like I was telling you before the game, it's been I missed a lot of basketball in the last 4 years. So, I'm just trying to get the feeling back, and it's just great to be out here playing again, man. And just got to keep playing, keep staying patient and grinding, and then just seeing what happens.
Yeah, I feel you. You have missed a lot of basketball. So what are the emotions that you feel when you're on the court and out here and getting this opportunity to shine?
I'm just giving everything I have, man. You never know. You really don't know how much you truly love something until it's taken away from you. So every minute, every second I'm out here, I just give it everything I have, and I can live with the results if I do that.
As a team, there's different rotations and lineups out there because you've dealt with a lot of injury lately. What are the bright spots of that? How is the team taking advantage and building during this time?
We're giving guys extra reps, chance to get in rhythms. Just overall, we finding ways to win. In the playoff series, things will be different. Every game will be different. You got to find different ways to win. So this is a great way to prepare for that.
Your team right now is kind of stuck in the middle. You've been right there, but you have aspirations of being a championship contender. What's giving you most confidence that your team can climb back to the top?
Honestly, it's a long year. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. We've been dealing with a lot, throughout the year, injuries, guys out of the lineup. So, we got time to kind of, get together and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're focused on, is getting everybody together, figuring out where everyone's comfortable and trying to do something special.
It's great to see you, Vic.
See you too.
All right, back to you guys.
Raj, thank you. That's Vic Oladipo, 20 points for him today. And he talks about his return to the league as he played sparingly over the last 4 years, just 41 games over the last 4 seasons for Oladipo at 30 years old, 10th year in the league out of Indiana. The Heat are winners today, 111-95. That's our final score. So for Raz Gold-Onwude, our producer, Mike Martino, and our engineer, the jack of all things, Jack Hicks, I'm Mike Cousins. from Miami-Dade Arena in Miami. Saying so long. Thanks for listening. We send it back to Kevin Winter in the studio with our postgame show.
All right, Mike and Roz, great job this afternoon. Pretty impressive performance by Miami. 23-9 run in the fourth quarter, and that's pretty much church, everybody. Coming up next on the Give Me Tonight postgame show, we'll give you the highlights. I want to remind you, we are going to join the playoff football preview with the pros with Jason Fitz, Keyshawn Johnson, and Harry Douglas already in progress. Coming up first, the highlights of how Miami has made a back-to-back wins over the Bucs. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim of ID theft, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com/sports.
The football playoffs are here, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great NFL ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch, and no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, I bought one pair of loungewear, and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower. Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guaranteed. Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kevin Winter with you inside our studios. Reminder, the playoff football preview at the pros. Jason Fitz, Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas going to join that in progress coming up here on ESPN Radio. Our game flow brought to you by Progressive Insurance. For a job you'll love, visit progressive.com/careers. Game 2, round 2, if you will, between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. They played on Thursday night, and in the new NBA scheduling format, they played again this afternoon. And away we go with the highlights. Milwaukee was up by 15 points in the first half. Lead got down to 8. It was 6 as they made the turn for the fourth.
The inbound, Strus, here the logo. One dribble left, pull up 3. A long triple is good for Max Strus. The Heat by 10.
Max Strus got the Heat cranking in the fourth quarter, 89-79 there. And then the defining moment in the fourth for both the Heat and the Bucks that figured out this game.
Oladipo cross-court pass, Adebayo a slam. Miami back out in front by 14, 93-79.
And the purposelessness on offense then translated to a lackadaisical defense.
Holiday pickpocketed by Oladipo, goes right to left for a bucket and pumps up the crowd. Miami with its largest lead of the day by 16, 95-79 with 7:38 to go in the fourth quarter.
And as they're getting it done, play it again. Brought to you by Grainger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger is always there to help. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. In the end, 23-9 run is the difference. The Heat outscored the Bucks by 10 overall in the fourth. Good night, Gracie. 111-95 is your final. Miami goes to 24-20 on the season. Milwaukee, 27-16. Let's remember, no Tyler Hero in this game. No Kyle Lowry. No Giannis Antetokounmpo. No Chris Middleton. So we still were a little light on the star factor, but Miami does make it back-to-back victories. Not shown in the highlights, Gabe Vincent coming off a career-high 28 2 nights ago. He had 27. And up next to the NBA Tonight postgame show, We'll hear from Gabe Vincent. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
Hey, Coach, you wanted to see me? Yeah, I just wanted to let you know we're going with Geico for next week's game. Geico? As our starting point guard? Geico really delivers in the clutch with over 85 years of great claim service right when customers need it most. Coach, Geico isn't a basketball player. It's an insurance company. Yeah, I just feel like Geico gives us our best chance to win. Are you serious right now? Thanks, champ. Knew you'd understand.
For the choice you can always rely on, go to geico.com.
NFL Wildcard Weekend is here. That's right. It has arrived. And the easiest way to get into the playoffs is with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers, join today to get started with $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code PLAY. So don't miss out. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia, and West Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming and Kansas or visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee.
You can't ask for more of a football weekend than we have on the way. A wild, wild, wild card affair, which will conclude Monday night with a classic, the Cowboys against Tampa Tom. This will be the place to talk about it at screening, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Monday on ESPN Radio.
Butler out from the right way, shoots a deep one and buries it at the buzzer.
The top two teams in the Eastern Conference's Southeast Division go head-to-head in the ATL when Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat face Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks.
Here's a pull-up three that goes down for Trae Young.
The Miami Heat at the Atlanta Hawks. Coverage begins Monday at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app or on your smart speaker. Listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Adebayo against Lopez, the second marker left side of the lane. He puts it under the basket, near side corner. Vincent feeling it. Oh, a fadeaway triple. 21 for Vincent and 42-27, 15 points, their largest lead. Grayson Allen with a crowd quieting three from the left wing makes it 42-30 Heat.
Gabe Vincent, 21 in the first half, 27 for the game. 55 points in a combined two-game stretch, both against the Bucks. Back-to-back wins. Heat today, 111-95. After the game, Gabe Vincent with ESPN's Monica McNutt.
How you feeling, sir?
Feel good.
All right, I got some history for you. All right, you are the first undrafted player with 25 points, 5 steals in a game since Jeremy Lin did it in 2016. When you think of your journey, what comes to mind when you do things like this?
Perseverance. Just keep going. It's been a long road, untraditional, not traditional route, but having fun with it and just trying to stack wins.
All right. So Thursday you set a career high at 28. Today you have a career high in the first half. You finished the game with 27 points. What is making you so efficient right now?
My guys, they're getting me open. I'm getting in my spots, and I'm finally knocking down some shots. That always helps.
As a team, it's no secret the first half of the season, maybe not what you guys would have hoped for, but we're now in the second half. What is going to be the key for you guys climbing up the standings and getting in good position for the postseason?
Defending. I think we got to get back to being a defensive team like we were last year, and like we know we can be. When we cause turnovers and we protect the ball ourselves, we put ourselves in good shape.
Gabe, you're such a professional. You gave me all the right answers. First post-game interview on ABC. Can we get a smile? Can we get a hot mom something?
Of course. Always smiling. It's the Case Mom season.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
27 points. Monica McNutt with Gabe Vincent. Here maybe is the most impressive part with Gabe. 11 of 14, and his only misses were from 3. 5 of 8, 55 points over the last 2 games. Heat win back-to-back over the Bucks, 111-95. Want to remind you, join us on Monday afternoon, Martin Luther King Day edition of the NBA on ESPN Radio. We will be in Atlanta for the Miami Heat against the Atlanta Hawks. Coming up next, we will join the Pro Football Playoff Preview with the pros. Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas, and Jason Fitz already in progress. Final score, Miami with a 111-95 win over the Bucks. We thank you for listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Shopify presents cool sheets from aha to
lying awake while you bake isn't cool. I suffered from the wrong kind of hot in bed, heat-induced insomnia. That was my aha moment. Bed sheets that keep you cool. Then I thought, how do I even sell bed sheets? That's when I had the idea that made it all possible, signing up on Shopify. With the help of Shopify's intuitive online store creator, I started selling sustainable bamboo sheets that keep cool year-round. And my cool idea became a reality. Hot sleepers around the world rejoice. Shopify makes it simple to keep your cool while starting and growing your business. Start selling with Shopify today and join the commerce platform powering millions of businesses worldwide. From aha to anything is possible.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. Shopify.com/play.
As part of its goal to make homes and hometowns better for all, Lowe's is committed $100 million to make a positive impact in local communities through its Lowe's Hometowns program. Each year through 2026, people across the country can nominate their hometown projects in need. Lowe's Hometowns will help restore and revitalize community spaces from gardens, parks, and food pantries to neighborhood housing, community centers, and much more. Visit lowes.com/hometowns for details on how you can nominate a project in your community starting January 23rd.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
So listen and watch on the ESPN app. This is SportsCenter.
It's wildcard weekend. I'm Chris Smith. The Seahawks were swept by the Niners in the regular season as they look for some payback. And ESPN host Keyshawn Johnson thinks Seattle can win this game.
San Francisco should be on upset alert. I know we all fall in love with them, and Brock Purdy's the guy and all that. And they got a good defense that seems to be a Super Bowl champion type defense. But Pete Carroll knows what to do. And they play each other every year. And, they should be on upset alert.
Heard on ESPN Radio's Candy and Carlin. Teams are 14-9 in the playoffs when looking to beat an opponent for the third time since the 1970 merger. In the AFC, the Jaguars host the Chargers in their wildcard matchup, but LA will be without wide receiver Mike Williams, who has a small non-surgical fracture in his back that he suffered in the regular season finale against the Broncos. Meanwhile, the Rams are expected to pick up quarterback Matthew Stafford's 2023 option bonus and the 2024 salary by the third day of the league year, sources tell ESPN Adam Schefter. The bonus and salary will pay Stafford a combined $62 million in guaranteed money, so he and coach Sean McVay will be back in L.A. next season. And according to the AP, DeMar Hamlin visited with teammates at the Bills facility on Saturday for the first time being since discharge from a Buffalo hospital. Baseball, Cubs Hall of Fame second baseman Ryne Sandberg will be immortalized outside of Wrigley Field in the summer of 2024 when the team unveils a statue of his likeness. Sandberg's statue will join the other Hall of Fame players, Ron Santo, Billy Williams, Ernie Banks, Fergie Jameson, and announcer Harry Carey, just outside the gates of the stadium.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you who the most important player in the field will be on Monday Night Football, Cowboys versus Bucks. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Playoffs now, it's 1 week seasons.
They're going to need an extraordinary effort from Josh. He's going to have to really carry them offensively.
A fan base that hasn't seen their team go to the playoffs since 2016. No one likes coming to Buffalo, especially this time of year.
It's the playoff preview with the pros, Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas. I'm Jason Fitz. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. We're getting you caught up and ready for all of the action. And it's time to take a look at Sunday's games. Gentlemen, let's break them down, and we'll start with the first kickoff on that day.
Dolphins at Bills.
Y'all are smarter than I am. Keyshawn, tell me how the Dolphins try to even win this game.
Well, I mean, if they start you at the quarterback position, you certainly could probably give them a lift.
I feel like I'm inspiring. Right? Like, I'd have a great speech in the huddle, and then I would just get planted into the ground and cry like a child. Yeah,
Well, look, here you say, how can they win this game? I don't think they can win this game because there's too many things that have to happen bad for the Buffalo Bills for them to win this game. And nothing's bad going to happen to the Bills right now. The Buffalo Bills are America's team. We're all rooting for the Bills to go to the Super Bowl because not only is it a great story, they deserve it. Everything that has gone on in that city over the last several months, from the shooting at the mall to the snowstorm until DeMar Hamlin's situation, you see where I'm going with this? Everything is aligned, even to the point where they may not have to go into Kansas, they won't have to go into Kansas City if they met in the AFC championship game. They'll be playing at Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. So it's going to be tough for a team to come from South Florida this time of year up into the cold and try and do something to a fully loaded team that's healthy all the way around. In fact, they may be getting Micah Hyde back at some point in time throughout the playoffs. So it's just going to be tough. You can't go into that place with a third-string quarterback and think you're going to win. You couldn't win in the regular season when they went up there with Tua.
Yeah, man, it's just hard for the Miami Dolphins right now because the way their offense works is that it's so Tua Tagovailoa centric, and he's everything to that offense. When you talk about a Tyreek Hill, you talk about a Jalen Waddle, Gesicki at the tight end position, and Smythe as well. But the flip side of that, when I looked at the second matchup that just recently played up in Buffalo, the Dolphins did something they haven't did well the entire year, rush the football. Raheem Mostert had a good game. They rushed for 188 yards. They're going to have to lean on the run game in this one because just to have Skylar Thompson just go back and throw the football 35, 40-plus times, I don't think that's going to do it at all. Now, I already don't believe they have a chance at all. But you look at Josh Allen and the Miami Dolphins defense, I don't think you can tell them, you know what, play zone coverage, because that's what Josh Allen struggles with when a team makes him methodically work the football down the field. They blitz so much and play man coverage so much. I don't even know if they practice zone coverage enough to go out there and execute a game plan if that's what they want to do. And you look at the last matchup and Josh Allen throwing for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns, but they were 4 for 5 in the red zone. I just think this is a game where the Miami Dolphins, they're just showing up and so they don't get fined, as Marshawn Lynch would say.
Yeah, well, I think we're all taking the Bills on this. No need to really run that in. You guys are both taking the Bills. Most importantly, to Key's point, if they end up in the AFC Championship game, I'm pretty sure Harry promised me sideline passes, right?
No, Justin Craig.
Sideline passes.
Our head guy, he's going to be able to get us credentials.
Yeah.
Justin Craig.
I don't want credit. I want sideline passes. All right, let's go to the next game.
Ravens at Bengals.
I'm just getting through the two of these that we're basically dealing with backup quarterback situations. We all know the Lamar Jackson conversation. So, Key, I'll ask you the same thing that I asked Dan Orlovsky a week ago. We have not seen the Ravens be able to manufacture points at all without Lamar. What can they now do? I mean, they've had weeks to try and figure this out. How can they manufacture any offense against the Bengals?
It's going to be tough. I mean, Cincinnati's playing a lot better defense than they have in the past. They've kind of gotten things together. They're not a championship defensive team, but they balance out their offense. And I think when you look at Lamar Jackson not being in the lineup and maybe Huntley becomes the starting quarterback in this playoff game, coming off a little bit of a injured shoulder, they've got to just continue to methodically move the football down the field and hope to not turn it over and put themselves in a position to score points, whether it's kicking field goals or actually scoring touchdowns. And then on the defensive side of the ball, contributing, special teams contributing, adding to the point total. And that's how you upset a team that's fully loaded.
Yeah, you're going to need, Calais Campbell, JPP, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, all those guys defensively for the Baltimore Ravens are going to have to be great. They can't be average. They can't be mediocre. They're going to have to be great against Joe Burrow and company. They're going to have to get pressure on them. I mean, we already seen Joe Burrow last year in a playoff game take 9 sacks and still figured out how to win against the Tennessee Titans. So even with that, you're going to have to try to, create some turnovers and score defensively, score on special teams, because offensively, I just don't think they have the firepower to keep up with the Cincinnati Bengals. When you have Lamar Jackson out there, when he's healthy, that's a different ball game. You have a chance. You have a playmaker who can make anybody look silly on a football field. So I think defensively and on special teams, and John Harbaugh, he's a special team guy. they're going to have to be special. They call it special teams for a reason, right, Key? You got to be special. You got to make plays.
Now, what do either of you know about special? Neither of y'all were ever running out there on special teams.
Wait.
I was
a punt returner.
The difference between being a punt returner, which just feels like glamorous. I'm just, you say special teams. I immediately think of like a gunner running down the sidelines trying to go after somebody. Neither of you guys were.
You talking about that same gunner that has to tackle the punt returner?
Yeah, that is fair. Okay. Keith, you ever play any special teams, Keith? Were we a special teamer?
Does in college returning kicks, does that count?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like when I think special teamer, I think
or better yet, does holding the snap in high school count?
When I think special teamers, I think like the effort guys that are out there running after y'all. Y'all are the stars.
Did punt return count?
No. Yes. See,
how about punting? Does that count?
Okay, yes. Punting counts.
Okay, so I did all those in college and high school, and then in the pros, does playing special teams in training camp and in practice as the R1, the L1, the R2, the L2, or the gunner, or the edge rusher, does that count?
That counts, Keith. That counts.
Okay, well, here's an interesting, Fitzy, but here's how they got us to do it. Coach Parcells took over in 97. All of a sudden, the number 1 overall pick is on special teams doing training camps. You know what we call that? Sneak conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting us at the gunner to run down the field, knowing damn well we ain't going to be the gunners in the game. He got us running full speed down there, and he's got us coming off the edge, acting as if, we're going to block punts. I'm like, man, come on, you're not using us in this. But yeah, I did it in practice and I did it in college. That's actual games.
Key, that's wildly brilliant though. Like that's a great way to do that. And you're right. I should credit both of you for your punt return abilities. Like I said, when I think special teamer, I think of the guy running after the superstar.
You can't do that. You can't do that when the New England Patriots just won a game versus the Jets on a punt return by Marcus Jones.
No. I'm saying the punt return's like a rock star. That's rock star status. As opposed to the concept a lot of people have of the special teamers guys. But
Fitz, do we get credit for hands team?
Oh yeah,
Special teams. It's a special moment in the ball game.
One of the most important plays.
I'll take the L. You guys were both tremendous special teams players.
Giants and Vikings.
I want to hit this one last because this is the one that I think is the most interesting. Keyshawn, we spent all year trying to tell people that the Giants aren't any good and the Vikings aren't any good. Which one of these football teams is better?
I honestly think because of the balance that the Giants have on the offensive defensive side, they're better than the Vikings. The Vikings defense is not good. They're not good at all. Their offense can score some points and move some stuff around with Jamar Jefferson when he doesn't disappear. But I think Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, and whatever receivers he throws the ball to, and the defensive front for the Giants, with Leonard Williams and company, they're different than the Vikings. So all the way around, I think they're a better team than Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota, they're 31st in total defense, and them making the playoffs and having a record that they actually have, being that bad on defense is unimaginable. I don't even know how it even goes hand in hand with one another. But I think when I look at this game, I think the Giants, they're going to have to be better on third downs, more so than they were the first time around. Also, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, those 4 guys are going to have to rattle Kirk Cousins, because we know if you get to Kirk Cousins, what we're going to get. And we literally just seen that versus the Green Bay Packers when the Minnesota Vikings played them. You've seen the 4 turnovers, the 3 interceptions, and the 1 fumble. So I think the defensive line of the Giants and their linebacking crew are going to have to get home to Kirk Cousins. Also, Wink Martindale, you can't go out there and say we're just going to play man coverage against Justin Jefferson. I don't think it works like that, boss. You tried that last year against Jamar Chase when you was with the Ravens and basically got yourself fired. So I don't think you can just go out there and say, you know what, we're going to play cover 0. We're going to blitz and let Justin Jefferson run free. I think in this game, you're going to have to switch it up a little bit more. But for the Giants' sake of things defensively, they're going to have to get to Kirk Cousins and force him to make mistakes.
All right, real quick, HD, who you got in the game?
I'm going to go with Minnesota. I'm going to take Minnesota in this one.
Keyshawn, who you got?
G-Man.
Ooh, all right. We got a big disagreement here. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas, Jason Fitz. We're just getting started. It's the playoff preview with the pros. More coming up next.
Are you ready for an epic wild card Monday? Ready for football, Cowboys Buccaneers, Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ABC. And you can watch Peyton and Eli's take on the game on ESPN2 and ESPN+.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
The more I think about the Lions, and I know Bears fans are going to at me and tell me that the Bears got $100 million to spend this offseason. I hear you. The legend of golf is going to grow. The Lions are going to be sitting there with the top 10 pick in the NFL draft that they'll be able to use to address the defensive side of the football should they choose to. And the Lions got a couple of guys that can get after the passer in ways that we're not used to seeing from the Lions. Like Aiden Hutchinson has not been good. He's been great. It's been a delight watching him go back from that force that interception against the Bears was just tricky play calling. And then the Houston kid that's out there that's only been playing since Thanksgiving, and all he's doing is absolutely killing quarterbacks. Like, I'm just watching the Lions think, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Detroit has the building blocks to be great for several years if they nail this offseason.
Fitz and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
Chris Canty, Super Bowl champion, host of Canty and Carlin.
Keyshawn, my rookie year, gave all of us Christmas cards, the entire locker room. And as a rookie, I'm like, a teammate giving you a Christmas card? This is new. I guess this is how they do it in the NFL. But the card wasn't from Keyshawn Johnson. No. It was from Keyshawn Johnson Realty Company. This guy got a subsidiary sending me a Christmas card. I'm like, well, he trying to get me to do business with his company? Like, what's going on? Is there a Keyshawn Johnson Construction Company holiday party? Like, I'm just waiting for that invite at this point. I'm like,
it wasn't me that sent it from the construction company. It was a construction company that sent it to all the teams and the players and stuff like that. Well, it had nothing to do with me. Now
he just told me he don't really give a damn about me because he didn't really send it.
Key, Jay, and Max, mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
We are talking to Christian Kirk, wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Offense, defense, special teams, just coming together, and that's what's helped us, especially in some of these close games against, better opponents.
Pleased to be joined by Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer.
For me, if I was voting, which I'm not, I would not let one game impact my voting for Jalen Hurts. I think right now, he is the MVP.
Talking to five-time All-Star and 18-year NHL vet Chris Pronger.
There's other guys, they need to feel 100% both mentally and physically before they're willing to play. Some organizations don't like players playing hurt. Others are okay with it.
Those All-Pro safety Jordan Poyer is with us.
That's one thing I learned about playing Tom Brady throughout the years. Tom's really out there playing chess. Everybody else is out there playing checkers.
The biggest names in sports come here. And it all starts weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. And continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
We know we're playing Tampa and Tampa.
Familiar now after 2 years of playing them, so that obviously gives you confidence.
It's one and done. We understand what's at stake. We got a home game. Everyone's worked hard to get to this point, and now it's no more second chances.
It's the playoff preview with the pros. I'm certainly not the pro in this conversation. We all know that. I'm Jason Fitz. I'm sitting with Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas. We're getting you caught up and ready for every single game over the course of the weekend. ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. Help you bundle your home and car insurance together. You can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Now, the Monday night game, gentlemen, all eyes across all ESPN platforms. Everywhere you get ESPN, you will be getting this game.
Cowboys and Buccaneers.
So I'm going to do this a little different. All right, Key, let's start with this. Who's winning this football game?
I think the Cowboys are going to win the game. I really do. I understand that they are America's team, but America hates them at the same time. Dak Prescott and company, they're a better football team right now than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their fronts on both sides, offense and defense, are better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, their running game is better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I just look at it and say to myself, the Bucs are undermanned in this situation. And if Tampa Bay plays their best football, they can beat them. But if they struggle at all and they get behind and Tom Brady has to drop back multiple times to throw the football, Michael Parsons and company are going to pin their ears back and go get him with that offensive line in trouble.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the Dallas Cowboys are the better team upon this matchup. The thing is that the Dallas Cowboys coming into this game isn't playing a good brand of football. And you look at it starting with the quarterback position and Dak Prescott not seeing the football field the correct way, turning the football over and over again. And we all know in the playoffs, Key, one thing you can't do is turn the football over, especially, against a team like Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Granted, they haven't played, good football only twice this entire year. Once was the first matchup versus the Cowboys, and the only other game other than that was against Seattle and Munich, where I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played a complete game. But we all know if you get in the dance, you have a chance, right? Everyone goes into the playoffs with a clean slate. And can this Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who do still have the Super Bowl DNA from a few years ago, because they do have a lot of carryover players from that team, can they put it together in an excellent way for the very first time, in a major way, against the Dallas Cowboys? Now, if the Cowboys open that door and allow them to do that, and if they lose this football game, shame on them. But anything is up in the air and on the table within this matchup.
So who you got in the game, Harry?
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
Okay, so we're split on this. So that leads to two questions. If the Bucs win this game, what does that mean for the future of the Cowboys with Mike McCarthy, Key?
Oh, God. I look, so there's a couple, I say, oh God, because there's a couple ways that I look at it, right? Depending on how they lose, if Dak gets hurt, if they blow a 50-point lead, if Mike McCarthy throws a flag too many times at the wrong time, like, this just depends on how they lose. Let's assume they do lose for argument's sake or conversation's sake, opposed to argument's sake. Now there's a decision to be made by Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has to make a decision on, is there another coach out there or on the sidelines in Dan Quinn, who is a former head coach, who knows how to coach, who has the respect of the defensive side of the ball, who's going to be up for some interviews. Not that he gets the job or not, but he'll be up for interviews. Do you want to run the risk of losing a head coach / defensive coordinator that you pay very well, that has motivated a defense to be at a certain level and growing, or do you implant him in the head coaching role and part ways with McCarthy? Or does Dan Quinn say, I'm taking a job in Houston, you lose him, you fire McCarthy, and you make a run at Sean Payton? Sean Payton's not going to take the job because he wants full control. I know that for a fact. And if you're not going to give him full control and sit in a box and shut up, you're not going to get him as a coach. So is there anything better out there than McCarthy if you part ways? So you might stick with it one more year.
Well, I'll say I think there's a few guys. I look at Sean Payton. I think he's a guy that can actually, get this team from an offensive standpoint to where they need to be. Also, if you lose Dan Quinn, they have a guy on their staff, Key, that was with me at Louisville. He was a secondary coach, but he's been in the National Football League for a very long time, and Joe Witt Jr. And I think Joe Witt Jr. At this juncture in his career, coaching-wise, needs to be a defensive coordinator, a head coach in this league. I just think he's that doggone good. He was a secondaries coach for the Green Bay Packers when they won that Super Bowl, and they were winning a lot of games year in and year out as well. But then I also look at a guy like DeMeco Ryans, right, who's with the San Francisco 49ers right now. And you can't tell me if you say, you know what, we're going to make DeMeco Ryans our head coach, that defense is going to take a step back. when you look at the San Francisco 49ers defense, who's the best in the league, and what they've been able to do against you last year in the playoffs in your own building. Now, from an offensive standpoint, I don't know who DeMeco Ryans will bring in those regards, but if he brings in a top-notch guy that can get this offense afloat and or decides he wants to keep Kellen Moore, then I think it's all good riddance. I just don't. I do believe what you said is true. It's how the Dallas Cowboys lose. It can't be McCarthy and situational football, or the undisciplined with the penalties going on like we seen last year, and he keep his job. Now, if they're fighting, and the game is close, and then Dak Prescott make a mistake, you can't sit up here and tell me that's on McCarthy. That's on Dak Prescott.
Well, when you look at the success, and I talk about success, Fitzy, and you'll be able to follow this, Harry, as well. Jerry Jones hiring of head coaches. So when you look at the hiring of head coaches, he's only hired one guy that I can think of. Well, he actually hired two, but they were already on staff that were not head coaches in the past. Jason Garrett's never been a head coach. He hired him. Okay. But when you look at the rest of the hires, the Jimmy Johnson's been a head coach before in college, Barry Switzer head coach, Bill Parcells head coach, Wade Phillips head coaches. All those guys had some success. First-time head coaches, Jason Garrett was there for 100 years, so he's going to have some success from a record standpoint. But when you look at those other guys that he's hired, no success because they were not first-time head coaches. So I don't know that he would hire a first-time head coach to be the head coach of his organization.
That's a good point.
And I think one of the smartest things you guys have said here is that there's nuance to this. If the Cowboys lose, that's far different than if Mike McCarthy loses the game for the Cowboys. That's a very different conversation. And, as much as we're all going to be reacting to every ounce of pressure that's in this game from Tom Brady's side, also from the Cowboys side, understanding that there is some in between. It's not just Cowboys won, Cowboys lost. Now what happens to McCarthy, I think, is important for everybody that's watching that game. Again, you can watch that game on Monday Night Football across all the ESPN platforms. We will have it for you everywhere. In the meantime, Harry Douglas, Keyshawn Johnson, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for making me smarter. I'm Jason Fitz. This has been the Playoff Preview with the Pros.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you what's it going to take for the Cowboys to finally win their first road playoff game in 30 years, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
When you're watching games, you're going to notice that the overtime rules have changed in the playoffs. No matter what happens on the first possession, if the team goes in and scores, the other team gets the opportunity to match it, and then after that, it goes sudden death. All I can envision...
Can't outduel Josh Allen. No, he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to outduel Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is going to be around for a long time. And so is Patrick Mahomes, and so is Joe Burrow. He's got to get him a guy if he wants to continue to keep coaching forever how long. He's got to find him a guy. And right now, he doesn't have a guy. What he has is he has something that was packaged up and presented a certain way, and people like you in the media, Max, took it because he went to a playoff game in a Pro Bowl that he was the answer. Mac Jones is not the answer for Bill Belichick in the New England Patriots.
GJ and Max, followed by Grady. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kick off the new year with the Australian Open, live from the electric atmosphere of Melbourne. Rafael Nadal is back to defend his men's singles title. Anything can happen as Americans Coco Gauff, Jessica Pegula and Madison Keys battle for the first Grand Slam of the season. The Australian Open. The story starts here, January 15th through the 29th on ESPN. Additional live coverage on ESPN+.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
Football is just a game. When you have loved ones at home that cherish you and want to be around you for as long as they can, is it really worth going out there and playing Tua Tagovailoa and he getting another concussion, and then now you have that on your hands? Because the Miami Dolphins, everyone involved in that decision, in my eyes, would have been fired.
Fitz and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Ready, steady, go. It's a battle of the superstars. Steven Stamkos and the Lightning. What a ball from Stamkos! Travel to Edmonton to face Connor McDavid and the Oilers. To McDavid scores! There you go. ESPN Hockey Night presented by New Amsterdam Vodka. Lightning Oilers, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. That is hockey.
You can't ask for more of a football weekend than we have on the way. A wild, wild, wild card affair, which will conclude Monday night with a classic, the Cowboys against Tampa Tom. This will be the place to talk about it at screening, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Which teams are making moves and which teams need to just flat out move? Your Saturday means I'm locked in and ready for First Take right here, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
This is SportsCenter.
The NFL playoffs are finally here. I'm Chris Smith. The Niners are on a roll, having won 10 straight, entering their postseason matchup with the Seahawks. Now, Brock Purdy started 5 at QB, and ESPN host Freddie Coleman thinks Purdy could be one for the ages.
If they're able to get to a Super Bowl, this may be the greatest story for a quarterback since Kurt Warner led the Los Angeles, well, then the St. Louis Rams to a Super Bowl. Everybody knows about the story where he played in the AFL, the Arena Football League, was stacking groceries in Iowa. Trent Green goes down to injury, and everybody went, oh, my God, what's happening to the Rams? And then months later, he's the MVP of the Super Bowl. They beat the Tennessee Titans. If Brock Purdy does the same thing, that may turn out to be an even better story than what Kurt Warner did for the Rams back in the late 90s.
Heard on ESPN Radio's Freddie and Fitzsimmons. Purdy was drafted last in the 2022 NFL Draft, and he will be the lowest drafted rookie QB to start a playoff game in NFL history. Meanwhile, Seahawks defensive end Shelby Harris and running back DJ Dallas will play against the Niners, according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. And after questionable officiating decisions in Sunday's playoff shaping game between the Rams and Seahawks, multiple executives and coaches said the NFL needs to reevaluate how it chooses and trains its officiating staff for future seasons. NBA Gabe Vincent dropped in 27 points to lead Miami over Milwaukee 111-95. Vincent is the first Heat player with 25 points, 5 steals, and 75% shooting in a game since LeBron James did it back in 2011.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you why a Cowboys loss on Monday night will lead to major changes. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
It's time for the playoff preview with the pros. Alongside Keyshawn Johnson and Harry Douglas, here's Jason Fitz.
We made it through 18 weeks of the regular season to get to this. Wild card weekend is here. And it's time for us to get you ready for all of the matchups. Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas, I'm Jason Fitz. This is the playoff preview with the pros presented by Progressive Insurance. You can be part of ESPN Radio Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. ESPN Nation presented by Dr. Pepper. It ain't college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve. Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas. Key, how excited are you that you get to hang out with Fitz and Harry to do this?
I'm extremely excited. I can't wait to just continue to roll throughout the playoffs, and then I can't wait for it to be all over with, and I get my offseason.
Oh, man, HT, I think Keyshawn's already ready for this thing to end. It feels like you're just ready for it to get started.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for all of us to be together. You know, Keith, I look up at Keith as a big brother, man. You know, he played the game of football at a very high level. We played the same position, wide receiver. Keith, who wide receiver won?
Where?
Between us, who's wide receiver one?
Oh, man, come on, man. Don't ask that question.
I mean, HT, you're wide receiver
roll like that. It doesn't even – it's whatever, right? And when they throw the ball, they throw it.
That's what I'm – see, that's the answer I'm looking for, Keith.
Put it this way. I know I'm getting open. I can't speak for everybody else on the field. I know I'm going to be open and be in the right place so the quarterback can deliver the football.
Yeah, what sucks for both of you is that you guys will both be open and I'm throwing you the ball, so we don't stand a chance. Right? Like, let's just be honest about it. All right, we're going to rip through all of the action coming up for the course of the weekend. We're going to do it the way we love to do on Fitz and Harry. It's time for the slate of chaos. That music can mean only one thing.
Now it's time to dance the electric slide.
Hey, what? The slate of chaos is here. We will rip through every single game in order that they come up through the weekend, and we start with this one.
Seahawks at 49ers.
Keyshawn Johnson, give me one big thing you're looking for in this matchup.
I want to find out if the Seattle Seahawks are committed to running the football with Kenneth Walker, not necessarily the yardage, but the attempts to lift some coverage, to lift the defenders off of the guys on the offensive side of the ball and give Geno Smith a real opportunity to gash the secondary.
Yeah, for me, Fitz, I think it's more so can the Seattle Seahawks match the physicality of the San Francisco 49ers? And that ties into what you just said, Key. Can they stay committed to the run game? Can the offensive line get a push? Can the defensive line of Seattle set in stone and make their mark in this game as well? So can the Seattle Seahawks match the physicality of the San Francisco 49ers? Because we know they're going to bring it all day, every day.
Yeah, y'all know that my man crush on Kenneth Walker III is real. That guy got Mel Tucker paid, and he has absolutely been spectacular this year. Let's see if he can do to the 49ers what Josh Jacobs did. Next up on the Saturday slate,
Chargers at Jaguars.
All right, Key, what's your one big thing you're looking for in this one?
I want to see if the Chargers could erase that embarrassing loss to the Jaguars at home during the regular season. Jacksonville obviously is playing at home. The Chargers have to travel. Can they do that, though, without Mike Williams being fully healthy? He's a little bit of back injury because Brandon Staley decided to play him week 18, which to me was a knucklehead move. But I think that the Chargers have an opportunity here, although I believe the Jags will win the game.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be which quarterback cannot mess their hair up. Both of these guys decided they want to have a nice length of hair. Trevor Lawrence, hair is a little bit longer. Justin Herbert has his to his shoulder. So, you know, which quarterback can not get their hair messed up the most?
Let me ask you guys a follow-up on this one. Do you guys trust Brandon Staley in a big game to not blow it, HD?
No, I don't. I don't trust him in those regards.
I mean, I'm not trying to be harsh on him, Key, but you see where I'm coming from?
I don't trust him, and he's never had a big game that like this of this magnitude. And the last time I saw him in a big game get in was against or play to get in was against the Raiders a year ago, and they didn't get in because they didn't play the way they needed to against the Raiders to win it, to get into the playoffs. And that was the only big game. Now he gets a second shot at it.
Yeah, I would even add to it, they didn't get in because Brandon Staley thought he was Mr. Wise Ass and decided to call a timeout. And that's when Rich Bisaccia decided, you know what, we're going to go ahead and kick this game, win a field goal.
Still one of the best days of my life as a Raiders fan. I'm just saying. You're listening to the playoff preview with the pros, Harry Douglas, Keyshawn Johnson. I'm Jason Fitz. We're going through all of the games in slate of chaos. Let's move to the Sunday action that starts with this one.
Dolphins at Bills.
All right, Keyshawn, you got the Dolphins at the Bills. You got no Tua. What are you looking for in this game?
Can the Dolphins just make it competitive? Can they just maybe hang around a little bit? Skylar Thompson, the third receiver, or quarterback, not receiver, is going to be in position as the starter. We don't know about Teddy Bridgewater just yet, maybe game time decision or something, but can they just make it competitive? Can they hang around and make Buffalo a little nervous at times?
Yeah, for me, and I hate to say this because I never want to be disrespectful to anybody in the National Football League, especially making the playoffs, but I'm looking forward to Buffalo using this game as a warm-up game because they didn't play that well against the New England Patriots. You have the Miami Dolphins without Teddy Bridgewater, without Tua Tagovailoa, with Skylar Thompson as their quarterback. So I'm looking for the Buffalo Bills to kind of treat this game like they treated New England last year when they blew them out in the first round. So that's where I'm at when it comes to this matchup.
Yeah, especially being in Buffalo. The next matchup on Sunday.
Giants at Vikings.
All right, we got this one, Keyshawn. Everybody's talking about the Giants. Can they do the impossible with Daniel Jones? What are you looking for in this one?
I don't think it's an impossible. I think when you look at the first matchup in the regular season, the Giants and Saquon Barkley certainly ran the football down the Vikings' throat. It took a 60-plus yard field goal at the end of regulation for the Vikings to win. Daniel Jones, well rested, doesn't have a plethora of wide receivers to throw the football to, but he's been very, very accurate at times. He's been very consistent at times. He's not turning the football over at any record clips like he was in the past. I think the Giants go into Minnesota. They win this football game if Saquon Barkley can duplicate what he did the first time around when they saw the Vikings and lost to him.
Yeah, when I look at this matchup, which is also a repeat, every game that we have in the first round is a repeat of the regular season. But when I look at the Minnesota Vikings, can their defense not be the reason they lose a football game? I think every game we've seen them lose this season, that defense didn't play up to its capabilities, and they were the weakest link. So against the New York Football Giants, can they hold their own? Can they be that, that brick wall that stops the Giants from doing what they want to do offensively?
Let's go to the next game.
Ravens at Bengals.
All right, Key, we got obviously no Lamar Jackson. What are you looking for in this one?
Well, here's what we have. We have a possibility of Huntley being the quarterback coming off a shoulder situation, or we have the third quarterback. We don't know yet. Again, this is another probably game time decision for the Baltimore Ravens. But the Cincinnati Bengals are a better football team all the way around. When they're healthy, Joe Burrow and company and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon on the offensive side with the defense playing the way that they play, they've gone to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow's been in the playoff situation before. This is going to be different without Lamar Jackson. I know the Ravens beat him earlier in the year, but it's at Cincinnati. It's the playoffs, and Joe Burrow is ready to go. Cincinnati's going to win the game all day long.
Yeah, I have the Cincinnati Bengals as the best team in the AFC right now, currently at the moment. They just had this matchup last week, and the Cincinnati Bengals defense created 4 turnovers. We've seen how terrible the Ravens were offensively and how terrible they've been since Lamar Jackson hasn't played since week 14, only averaging 13 points per game, which is the second fewest in the National Football League. So I'm looking forward to seeing Joe Burrow be that guy. I'm looking for T. Higgins and, Jamar Chase and Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon, all those guys to be on 10 and actually making plays against the Baltimore Ravens.
One more. We'll get this one in quick. It's Monday night. It's across all the ESPN and ABC networks.
Cowboys at Buccaneers.
Key, what you looking for?
I'm looking for who's going to save their job is what I'm looking for. Is Mike McCarthy going to save his job by winning this football game, or is he going to get fired on Monday night flying back to Dallas if they lose this game? And what's going to happen if Todd Bowles loses? All of a sudden, is Todd Bowles going to be in the firing line, or is he going to escape because they win this football game against the Dallas Cowboys? And it all falls for Dallas on Dak Prescott. If he turns the football over the way he has over the last several weeks, they're going to lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a 50-year-old quarterback in Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's simple for me. Can the Dallas Cowboys, when the lights are bright on Monday Night Football at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, can they get a victory over Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
We are just getting this thing started. That's your slate of chaos. We're going to break down every single game. He's Keyshawn Johnson. He's Harry Douglas. I'm Jason Fitz, and this is the playoff preview with the pros. More coming up next.
Are you ready for an epic wild card Monday? Ready for football, Cowboys Buccaneers, Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ABC. And you can watch Peyton and Eli's take on the game on ESPN2 and ESPN+.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
I
I'm at our ESPN LA studios. You may remember that Bev did a couple of days of work for ESPN last year.
No, I remember. I was on with him.
He left a gorgeous Dolce & Gabbana suit here that is just spectacular.
You should wear it on TV today, Brian.
I do not believe it will fit me, only because the arms are too long. You're across the street. Come over and get it. It's got to be at least a $7,000 suit.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Camp Lejeune Justice is responsible for the content of this ad. Attention Marines, military, contractors, and family members stationed at Camp Lejeune for 30 days or longer between August 1953 and December of 1987. For 34 years, those at Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries. Passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow victims to seek compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water.
For a free consultation, call 800-210-0859. That's 800-210-0859.
Let's go, baby. We are ready for NFL playoffs this weekend.
Super Wild Card Weekend.
The story is irresistible of Tom Brady beating the Cowboys.
Who will be one and done, and who will begin a magical run.
This is not a team in Minnesota that you would sit back and go, oh my God, their record indicates what type of team they are.
We're the winner, we go home. What do you want to do? Coverage begins every morning at 6 Eastern with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. And it continues all day right here on ESPN Radio.
The complete 30 for 30 library is exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Maya Moore stepping away from basketball to fight for justice.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee. Stream over 100 documentaries featuring the biggest names in sports, with titles including The Tuck Rule, Be Water, Lance, You Don't Know Bo, and more. The award-winning 30 for 30 library, streaming exclusively on ESPN Plus. Sign up now at ESPNplus.com or get the Disney bundle, including Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus to stream the best movies, shows, and sports.
Monday on ESPN Radio.
Butler out from the right wing, shoots a deep one and buries it at the buzzer.
The top two teams in the Eastern Conference's Southeast Division go head-to-head in the ATL when Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat face Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks.
Here's a pull-up three that goes down for Trae Young.
The Miami Heat at the Atlanta Hawks. Coverage begins Monday at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app or on your smart speaker.
Headlines and hot takes, they have their place. But at our podcast, ESPN Daily, we don't just skim the surface of sports. Dude, I mean, this clearly transcends blood feuds, rivalries, sports. This is something far, far deeper than that. I'm your host, Pablo Torre, and every day we try to dive into the stories behind the athletes.
The picture of him in the dugout afterwards just looked like a guy who'd had his heart ripped out.
Listen to ESPN Daily wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up Monday, we will recap Wild Card Weekend and tell you what the Bucs need to do to beat the Cowboys. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern. ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Mike Greenberg.
There are some people who are making it seem like Saleh is coaching for his job next year. I don't think that's the case. So that's one of the two big question marks of that job. The other one, of course, is who the quarterback is going to be. You're going to have to hire for this position before we have the answer to that question. So long as the answer is not Zach Wilson, then I think people will be attracted to it. Good things could happen more quickly than we expect.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Which teams are making moves and which teams need to just flat out move? Your Saturday means I'm locked in and ready for First Take right here, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Doesn't seem like he's got the rookie learning curve to deal with. Whether it's a playoff game, whether it's a Super Bowl, then all you can do is control the athletic sporting event that you're involved in. We look at it as a challenge, but we're also excited because it's like, man, if we do play to our full potential, it's like, what else can we do?
It's a playoff preview with the pros. Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas, I'm Jason Fitz. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. For a job you'll love, visit progressive.com/careers. You can hit us up on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed. Gentlemen, as we go through all of the games, let's spend a little time checking out the slate for Saturday, and we'll start with this one.
Seahawks at 49ers.
Obviously, you mentioned it earlier. We've talked about it with this game. The 49ers are a defensive juggernaut. We know that, Keyshawn. So how do the Seahawks go in and win this football game?
You know, I think it's going to take balance, but it's also going to take patience with that balance. And Kenneth Walker running the football with Kenneth Walker, and a lot of times when you want to run the ball, you want to obviously get yardage, but the attempt slows the defense down. It makes them think. Now, all of a sudden, you get the secondary, the linebackers at the second wave peeking and looking and trying to become active and getting involved in the running game. And that's when you start to put the ball in the belly of the back, pull it out, the play action pass game, putting Geno Smith on the perimeter, allowing him to try and push the ball down the field. Because one of the things that the 49ers like to do in the secondary is keep everything in front of them. They like to be able to look in and see the eyes of the quarterback with their hips and butt to the sidelines, sort of playing a zone coverage, cover 4 a lot of the times, things that you can get away with. But at the same time, if an offense is patient, they can also exploit that and protect the guy up front. If they can protect him up front from guys like Bosa getting at him, they'll have an opportunity to come out of this thing a winner.
Yeah, I think being balanced on offense is the key for Seattle. But also, if the run game isn't there, trying to find other ways to, substitute the run game within the pass game, little quick routes to, DK Metcalf. If you see a corner 7-8 yards off to him, just pick the ball up and throw it to him. He's a big body guy. I'm pretty sure he can get you 10 or 15 or anything. Plus, if he breaks a tackle, you look at the first matchup, well, the first 2 matchups that these teams face, Seattle rushed for 36 yards in the first one. And in the second one, they rushed for 70 yards. So I think they got to be a little bit better than they were in those first 2 matchups. At the same time, though, you look at the San Francisco 49ers and the back end of their defense, it's not the strongest. It's not the strongest. So if you can, have the receivers, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and the tight ends get some plays, take advantage of Hufanga because he's a guy who's aggressive, right? Take advantage of him in the pass game. Also, I think it's going to come down to Charvarius Ward and DK Metcalf. We know when the San Francisco 49ers do want to play man coverage, we know that he's going to be locked up with DK Metcalf, and he's a guy that can actually, be physical with DK and also play man coverage. But DK has to win that one-on-one matchup across the board.
Yeah, but guys, is Geno him? Can Geno take advantage of all this, Key?
Beginning of the season, Fitz, I was talking to Max and Jay Will and a host of other people, and this is when the Russell Wilson deal went down. And they were like, oh, Drew Lock. And I said, no, that's not going to be the quarterback. It's going to be Geno Smith. They looked at me like I had frogs on my face. And I said that Geno Smith just needs to be in a certain environment with a certain coach that can utilize his skill set. Never mind what happened in New York with the Jets. Never mind his backup role with the New York Giants. Never mind what happened in San Diego with the Chargers. Only look at what he's been able to do under Pete Carroll, because if a coach's staff understands your strengths and your weaknesses, they will maximize them and keep you out of harm's way. And he's been able to do that, somewhat of a resurgence, I guess, in his career, being able to lead the charge. I simply said, it's the same thing as Russell Wilson. There's no difference. And I believe that. I will go down in flames believing that Geno Smith for Seattle is the same thing that Russell Wilson was able to do. Have a nice running game, an emerging star-studded defense that Seattle is trying to get to, and a quarterback that don't screw it up and turn the football over at an alarming rate. And I think if he does those things and stays within himself in the way he's played in games that he's won for them, I think that he can go out there and he can beat the 49ers.
Yeah, the most important thing for me is, Key, like you mentioned, do not turn the football over, because Geno has done that the last few games that they've played. He did it multiple times against the Los Angeles Rams in their last game. But when he doesn't turn the football over, Geno plays a great brand of football, and the Seattle Seahawks do win.
All right, real quick, one word. Who you got, Harry, in this one?
Oh, I got San Francisco.
Key, who you got?
With all that said, I'm taking San Francisco.
Okay, perfect. Let's go to the next one.
Chargers at Jaguars.
Jags come into this thing hot, but didn't look great necessarily against the Titans. Key, how scared should the Chargers be of this Jags offense?
I think they should go back and look at that film from earlier in the year, find out what they did wrong and try to correct that. The Jags offense didn't look good against the Titans in particular, but that's okay. They clinched. They did their job. It's a divisional opponent. They kind of know certain things about each other, have a feel for personnel groupings, things of that nature. But I think that the Chargers should worry about the offense. Khalil Mack is coming off the edge. Not sure how healthy Bosa is. He played in week 18, but he left early, only played about 23 snaps. If that was by design because he missed time, I don't know, but he didn't play the entire game. You start to look at the back end of that secondary for the Chargers against Kristen Kirk and Zay Jones and company. And Trevor Lawrence, week 18 for them was the playoff game. You win, you get in, you lose, you go home. So they already been indoctrinated into the playoffs in week 18. Playoff environment, atmosphere, at home, jacked up fan base, starving for the playoff spot, beer flowing. That's the way it's going to be when they face each other this weekend. Same sort of thing. And this offense can hit Travis Etienne and company. That's why I'm not shocked that they would run shop again for the second time on the Chargers at home this time versus on the road. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Yeah, when I look at this Chargers defense, can they get home with the front seven? Because we've already seen one time when these two teams have played, Trevor Lawrence carved that defense up in man coverage, right? I think they play man coverage at the second highest rate in the National Football League. Trevor Lawrence has the second best completion percentage, or is second best against man coverage this season in 2022, 2023. So, something has to give, something has to take in this matchup. And when you look at the opposite side for Justin Herbert, he had two turnovers in that first game, one fumble, one interception. Can he take care of the football, and can they rush the football effectively? They got to be able to rush for more than 26 yards in this ballgame.
All right, Harry, who you got in the game?
I'm going with Jacksonville. Duval.
Key, who you got in this one?
I'm going to take Jacksonville. The reason I'm going to take Jacksonville is because I think that Doug Peterson is a better football coach than Brandon Staley. And I think Brandon Staley is going to do some goofy stuff trying to keep his job and not give it away to, I'm assuming it'll be Sean Payton, but who knows?
No, that's a real question. So you think by Monday morning, are we talking about, the next head coach of the Chargers?
If they lose, I think we'll be having that conversation all day on Monday. I think so.
Harry, you think that?
Oh, 100%. And I think it's also how they lose. I think if they, they're in a shootout in a close game and Brandon Staley isn't the cause, isn't the reason why, the Los Angeles Chargers lost this football game, then I think he may have another lifeline. But if there's any indication that he's the reason why the Chargers lose this game, he's out of there, and it's going to be, Sean Payton next.
Well, shout out to the Jaguars organization that took this team around, and they managed to fix their coaching issue. They managed to bring in a bunch of money, spend that money well, and they managed to turn their season around. To think that they are where they are now versus where they were a year ago, staggering. Let's see how it plays out over the course of the weekend. We are going to figure out how every game plays out over the course of the weekend. We're just getting started. We have tons of playoff action to break down. Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas, I'm Jason Fitz. You're listening to the playoff preview with the pros. We're going to keep the action coming up as we get you ready for all the games for the course of the weekend.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you why a Cowboys loss on Monday night will lead to major changes. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use ClosetBox instead? ClosetBox is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. ClosetBox's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. ClosetBox's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. ClosetBox has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code RADIO50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
Monday on ESPN Radio.
Butler out from the right way, shoots a deep one and buries it at the buzzer.
The top two teams in the Eastern Conference's Southeast Division go head-to-head in the ATL when Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat face Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks.
Here's a pull-up three that goes down for Trae Young.
The Miami Heat at the Atlanta Hawks. Coverage begins Monday at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app or on your smart speaker.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 283, Saturday, January 21st. 2 undisputed titles are on the line. Glover Teixeira takes on Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight title. And for the first time in UFC history, a 4th championship fight between Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno for the flyweight title. UFC 283, Saturday, January 21st at 10 p.m. Eastern. Find on ESPNplus.com/PPB.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
Tampa Bay's not very good either. There's not room for mistakes from Dak because the defense for the Cowboys has fallen apart. They are getting carved up by quarterbacks that are barely in the NFL. What in the hell is Tom Brady going to do to them? Like, that's going to be like watching a Michelin star chef come into a Denny's and make your breakfast sandwich. Like, he's going to absolutely do whatever he wants.
Fitz and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
ESPN Films presents This is the South. This is where Rupp laid the foundation for a big blue nation. Where Trish started her ascent to the summit. Down here, one team's hell is another's on heaven. And a rich history is the dawn of an even brighter future. Larger-than-life characters that transform college basketball forever. This is the SEC, and this is our story. Southern Hoops premieres January 30th, 9 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network.
Coming up Monday, we will recap Wild Card Weekend and tell you what the Bucs need to do to beat the Cowboys. Keyshawn J. Will and Max, Monday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern. ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Which teams are making moves and which teams need to just flat out move? Your Saturday means I'm locked in and ready for First Take right here, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Kick off the new year with the Australian Open, live from the electric atmosphere of Melbourne. Rafael Nadal is back to defend his men's singles title. Anything can happen as Americans Coco Gauff, Jessica Pegula and Madison Keys battle for the first Grand Slam of the season. The Australian Open, the story starts here, January 15th through the 29th on ESPN. Additional live coverage on ESPN Plus.
This is SportsCenter.
It's Wild Card Weekend. I'm Chris Smith. The Seahawks were swept by the Niners in the regular season as they look for some payback in the wild card round. But ESPN host Keyshawn Johnson thinks San Fran has too much firepower.
Deebo Samuel back in the fold. You know, Brock Purdy's doing exactly what I said he was doing several weeks ago, what he was going to do. And Christian McCaffrey is just a difference maker. Once they traded for Christian McCaffrey and Christian McCaffrey made the decision to go to San Francisco instead of the Los Angeles Rams, this was a totally different offense before him, and it's a totally different offense with him now. So the defensive side of the ball speaks for itself. I like Seattle, but I just don't think they have enough.
Heard on ESPN Radio's Keyshawn J. Will and Max. Teams are 14-9 in the playoffs when looking to beat an opponent for a third time since the 1970 merger. In the AFC, the Jaguars host the Chargers in their wild card matchup, but LA will be without wide receiver Mike Williams, who has a small non-surgical fracture in his back that he suffered in the regular season finale against the Broncos. The pair upsets in college hoops. The last team to take down the Vols at home was Kentucky in 2021. Today, they do it again, as the unranked Wildcats stunned fifth-ranked Tennessee 63-56 to snap the Vols a 25-game home winning streak. In Raleigh, Terquavion Smith dropped in 20 as NC State holds on to beat 16th-ranked Miami 83-81 in OT. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh forward John Hughley will miss the rest of the regular season to focus on his mental health and injury rehab. He hasn't played in the last month due to personal reasons and will seek a redshirt year.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you why a Cowboys loss on Monday night will lead to major changes. Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, Monday on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Game Day on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Welcome to Super Wild Card Weekend. Not one, not two, but 3 days of NFL playoff action coming your way here momentarily. Seattle, the 7th seed in the NFC, takes on the San Francisco 49ers in what looks like a very rainy Levi's Stadium. Courtney Cronin, Adam Rittenberg, kicking it with you on ESPN Radio on this wild card Saturday afternoon. As always, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. You can tweet to us. My handle at Courtney R. Cronin, Adams at ESPN Rittenberg. You can also hit us up on the Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. So the NFL playoffs are underway. We will keep you updated throughout the next couple hours here on Game Day. What's going on between